Oh, okay. Oh, so we weren't muted. Oh, okay, perfect.
Okay,
yeah, no,
good.
I didn't want us to be muted for that.
I wanted people to know.
Yes.
I hate Spike Vegeta. God, I can't wait till our VOD gets muted for this opening.
Okay.
It's gonna be great.
So I guess, are we all basically ready to go then?
Come on, let's go. Let's start the run and go get a drink of something afterwards, okay, right now? Like water.
Is it too late to quit the run?
How do you ban someone from this?
Yeah. All right, so we're good? We're all good? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Why are you playing the Japanese version? That's what it looked like. What else we're going to talk about for the next 3 minutes? So this opening cutscene's unskippable. One thing that's nice about 1.5 is that they made cutscenes skippable. So the kind of the history of that is Kingdom Hearts 1, the original, you couldn't skip cutscenes at all. Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, which there are probably still a fair few amount of people that don't know about it, was a Japanese exclusive. Think of it as like a director's cut that they actually it's just a theme of the series. So they release the game, and then a year later they release it with like everything that they wanted to clean up, finish up. And one thing that was nice about Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix is that you got to skip the cutscenes, but only after viewing them one time before. So it effectively kept us from, anyone who's played this game before knows you'll death cycle on like Riku 2 and other boss fights. Now you don't have to watch the cutscenes beforehand every single time. In Kingdom Hearts 1.5, they made it skippable from the start. There are a few cutscenes they just missed, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And there's this one that just, they want you to watch this opening.
Yeah, you
FMV.
can't skip the cinematic ones, the FMVs, this one and the ending one. And there are 2 cutscenes. Well, there's 3 cutscenes elsewhere in the game, one of which we won't be seeing, that we just cannot skip. We're going to talk really loudly over this song at the beginning here, so that way it doesn't get our volume.
If we
muted.
beatbox to it, is that actually worse? It actually just emphasizes it more.
It's telling them that this is something. There's like the Spike beatboxing over copyrighted music detection.
I'm sorry for the spit on this mic now.
So
Anyways,
in other words, welcome
yeah,
to the room clear, the run.
We're like, oh god, this takes 3 hours. I'm gonna go have a social life. No, thank you.
No, welcome to Kingdom Hearts Final Mix HD.
Yeah, dude.
I'm very excited to be doing this at a live marathon. I'm really glad Ghoul had me out here.
Yeah, this
is my first speed game. Like this is what got me into speedrunning, and I've just loved it ever since. Of course, it's a love-hate relationship, as are all games, but
it's now what?
It's very fun.
Where does your PB rank? Actually, aren't you like top 7 now? Or
yeah, I think I'm 6th still.
Which
I'm
okay,
6th.
so people might not understand, might not know this. This is one of the 10 most popular speed games on Speedrun.com. Like to be 6th or 7th in this game is out of like 150 times.
Yeah, and my PB's
1.5.
No. I have been like ahead of my PB, so there's a small chance of PB potential.
Sure. Yeah, you never know.
We're records on the table.
He's
right?
getting towards it right now. Just so you guys know, we're also going to be doing this run, JHobz specifically. I'll be there doing dumb commentary like I'm doing now. We'll be doing this at RPG Limit Break next month. To plug that is going to be going on, I believe, May 9th through the 14th, and this is going to be the second night of the marathon, May 10th. Should be a lot of fun, and he is still gunning towards better and better times.
Yep, and I'll be
Yeah.
playing it in English there. As Spike mentioned, this is the Japanese version of the game. We were playing in Japanese because the text scrolling saves 50 seconds, 50, over the whole run. That is less than a minute in a 3-hour run.
Right.
But 50 seconds is a lot.
It's actually, I mean, I still view it as pretty insane considering you really don't see that much text in this game, period. It's not like a Final Fantasy game where, like, half the game is text. We're mostly skipping cutscenes that would have that text in it, and then there's, like, a handful of... I don't know. It's really not that many text boxes to build up to 50 seconds. A lot of it is this opening cutscene. A fair amount. Not most of it, but... So, anyways, also to talk about, there are 3 difficulties in the game. There's beginner, standard, and proud. Pretty standard within speedrunning is that you are going to pick either the easiest difficulty or the hardest difficulty. He's picking the easiest because it is the fastest version of the game. And you might stop there and think like, oh, well, that means this is the easiest category. Easiest by just pure in-game difficulty, sure, but not easiest at all in terms of a speedrun. I think actually 1.5 beginner is an incredibly difficult speedrun to play at the level that JHobz and everyone else. Like, I think it's a good beginner category. You know, you could probably cut 315, 310, even get close to the 3-hour mark without too much trouble. Getting down to low 250s and like 244 like the world record is, like, that is an absolutely insane level to push it to. Also, you saw right there, so you have the opening options of you got the sword, the shield, and the staff. Those are your main options for how you want your stat increases to go throughout the game. Sword obviously is going to give you more strength throughout the run. Shield more defense. Staff more magic, AP. It kind of it's got its mix. Shadows suck by the way. Yeah.
I can't get it. All right.
Perfect right there. You can get a 2 combo to kill all 4 of them.
Yeah, Shadows are actually some of the worst enemies in the game in terms of wasting time. And this first kind of split, this first boss fight, has a lot of them in it and often causes resets for runners just because they are completely RNG. I can kill all the Shadows in that last fight in 2 combos at minimum, but it is entirely dependent on how the Shadows move.
Yeah, there was like a very subtle manipulation that he actually did right beforehand where he moved to the right before he had to skip the cutscene, just after he got through the little tutorial section. But it's still, he's got to deal with randomness of Shadows. If Shadows want to be dicks, they can just be dicks.
All right, I got an air combo on the round box.
I did see that, yeah.
So we're good to go there.
Shoutouts to the round box. So to finish what I was saying about like just these options at the beginning, there's also these options here. I'll get back to the sword, shield, and staff later, but right here, he is actually picking the top 3 options because that's going to give him the Dawn route.
Yeah, I picked the bottom for selfie, but it's purely just for shorter text.
Shorter text.
We don't know if it even actually saves any time, but
it's dependent on if you pick mostly the top or the bottom, or you mix all 3 of them. That's going to determine whether you get dawn, midday, or night. I'm going to be quiet so he can get.
No, I'm not going to be able to hear it. It's fine. I'll try to guess. No.
No.
So, okay, there we go.
Okay.
So I normally, I actually listen to my PS3 for that cutscene skip normally, because it makes a loud, like, whirring noise when I can skip the cutscene.
I'm going to let him get through this Shadows fight, and then I'll finish explaining the choices we had.
Okay, so these Shadows are, like I said, random, and all I can do is try to position myself well, not get hit. Oops, I should not have done that finisher. And try to react to what they gave me. So, like, I targeted a Shadow at the beginning that ended up going underground, so before my finisher landed, I needed to make sure to unlock on from him, so that way it would actually connect with several of the enemies. This felt pretty decent so far, so that save point was probably like in
the Shadows
30s.
2 was pretty solid, actually.
All right, so you can go ahead and explain what I'm doing here while you're
Yeah, so
finishing up
these
the
are power-ups and defense ups. Right below them is also AP ups. In beginner mode, the way they actually balance it, because right now, if he didn't equip these, it would actually just be like a standard mode run. Everything's kind of at standard damage. However, by equipping those 8 power-ups and those 8 defense ups, that is how the game adjusts you to having, higher stats.
as well as giving you a couple of equipment items.
Yeah, you also get 4 AP ups. He's not going to use those. He's just going to sell them. It wouldn't allow us to have any abilities earlier than we would have in this game. You always have plenty of AP. You also get the ribbon and the EXP necklace. Nice benefit about the EXP necklace. Nice, very nice. There's actually a lot to explain throughout this run.
Yeah, this beginning split is a lot.
Yeah,
has a lot.
Right there, the reason why I'm jumping back and forth between things. The reason why he jumped on top of the fist there, as opposed to just attacking the fist, is because that got him 2 tech points. Whether he attacks
Per finisher.
Per finisher, yeah. Whether he's attacking the fist or the face, it's going to take 4 aerial combos. And the reason why he goes up there is because he wants those 8 tech points, because those are experience points.
Yeah.
And that is all to try to get him to level 7 before the guard armor fight in Traverse Town, which is going to make that fight a lot faster.
Yeah,
actually.
I'm going to. It actually doesn't technically make it faster. It just makes it so that it's the worst RNG is exactly the same as the best RNG. In that fight, you could potentially. Oh, on my head. That's fine. In that fight, in the guard armor fight that's coming up later, you can get 2 different opening starting locations for guard armor. And if he's further away from you, that's good. If he's closer to you, that's bad. But if we hit level 7 by doing those combos on the head and killing 1 soldier on the way to the fight, then we actually will do just enough damage for it to not matter which one he gives us.
Yeah, the level 7 is a strength up. Strength ups in Kingdom Hearts are actually very important. You might think it's just 1 strength and it wouldn't make that big of a deal. A lot of how this game works is actually in scaling. So that 1 extra level up in a lot of ways can save a lot of time actually on just 1 fight afterwards. You'll also notice just the structure of the health in this game, the way you deal damage, it's much more kind of chip damage, and then it just boosts to doing full chunks of health. So you're trying to always like break that barrier as much as you can in this game. To finish what I was explaining, so the choices he made, he went with, so you might automatically think, okay, why wouldn't you go sword route in this game? So with sword route, you're not only choosing when you're getting strength ups and stuff, you're choosing what abilities you're learning at what levels. By what you pick, that is going to determine the different abilities you get at different spots. There's going to be different areas where we'll go into more detail about what's important. He's going to be getting stuff like air combo pluses later on that are going to be really important. What are some of the other like really important
it's mainly 2 air combo pluses and leaf bracer. And we start off with 1 more MP than we normally would.
Right.
The weapon you choose only determines your base stats and the order in which you get abilities. It doesn't actually affect the stat increases you get from level ups.
Right.
So picking sword would get us an extra strength. We actually need the extra MP more than we need the extra strength. And the ability route for staff is much better.
There's a lot of people who probably played this game, myself included, when you were a kid, and you always wanted to swing your Keyblade. That was it. You didn't really understand how powerful Magic actually was. And this isn't just a 1.5 thing, it's Kingdom Hearts 1 in general. Magic is actually extremely useful, and you're going to see him using it all throughout the run, particularly once we get late in the run, stuff like Gravity. But even before then, Blizzard and Fire is going to do a lot of work, particularly here in the first half of the run, I would say, for those.
Yeah, and to explain what's been going on these islands for the last day and a half so far.
Short.
If you've never played this game before, basically we are trying to leave the island in order to go search for adventure, because it's a video game. And to do that, we need to gather some materials so we can make a raft. So we're just picking up a lot of those materials. I'm going for a task coconut there. Didn't quite get it. We call that task coconut because realistically, you're only going to get a coconut drop from that tree if you're incredibly lucky, or if you're
I've gotten it once.
I've gotten it a few times, but I also go for it every single
right.
So,
the other choice he made between dawn, midday, and night, which were the 3 questions he answered with Selphie, Waka, and Tidus, was that he decided how quickly he was going to level up. By picking mostly the top options, he's going to level up quickly up to about level, I think it's like late 30s.
32 or so.
It's actually early 30s. Yeah, I actually never knew the exact number.
I don't know it either, yeah. But yeah, basically we're going to level up early.
Yeah.
We used to level up late, and then we realized we're all dumb. So, fell off the tree there.
Platforming in this game... So it's kind of sad because you look at Kingdom Hearts 2 and they just took platforming away. Kingdom Hearts 1, the platforming is incredibly clunky, but it's still fun to have it there from a speedrunning standpoint because it adds more depth to the run. It's not all just about battle strats. There's a lot of little platforming tricks, particularly a couple that JHobz found we'll talk about later in the run.
My favorite thing to work on in this game is finding platforming optimizations. So because that fade out didn't happen the second I touched the ground there, it means I literally lost no time.
Yeah.
This race with Riku actually has to get close enough to the finish before it'll actually end the race.
It feels really bad for him.
Yeah, so the fact that I fell down at the beginning there, it did not lose me any time whatsoever.
He reacted more than fast enough to just adjust himself. And it was nice that he fell on the first tree going over there. If he got close to it and then fell. So this is one of the bigger RNG moments of the run. He can lose a decent little chunk of time here if coconuts are mean. And it looks like he got 2 and 5. That is...
I usually get pretty good coconuts.
Yeah.
So.
For a marathon run, you'll take that. If you get...
I'd take that in any run. I'd never reset around coconuts.
Right.
Unless I have to go to another tree.
Please, if you ever pick up this game, don't do that. If you get really bad RNG, yeah, you might have to go to a second tree. I want to say each tree has like 12 coconuts
Something
in
like
it.
that. Somewhere between 12 and 15.
Yeah. So... we don't know the exact percentage. I've always felt like each coconut has about a 40% chance, roughly somewhere there. It's a little less than half of being the yellow coconut you need 2. Shoutouts to my 2008 Kingdom Hearts 1 segmented run where I thought you needed 3, so I wasted time getting 3 there. But yeah, so that's 2 and 5, more than good enough there. As long as it doesn't go beyond 8 or 9, it's really nothing to get frustrated about.
Yeah, and that finishes day 2 of Destiny Islands. All we're going to do now is actually get our weapon for the game, the Keyblade.
Right.
And then beat Darkseid, the boss we fought first. We're going to go ahead and fight him again.
In a more extensive fight.
Yeah. Not much more, though.
Not much more here on beginner, yeah.
Yeah, we have about 7 cutscenes here to skip, all with loading screens. Pretty sweet.
Probably a good time for a donation then.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
We have a $20.69 donation from PX saying, PX here for the meme. Got to support my speed buddies.
Cool.
Shouts to PX. Thanks, bud. PX is actually another RPG speedrunner who will be running Legend of Mana, I believe. Yes, Legend of Mana at RPG Limit Break next month. A personal favorite of mine from the PS1 days in Square's second golden era. I don't know what you want to call it. But yeah, so we're skipping through cutscenes here. Again, just imagine if we had to watch all this crap, which is what Kingdom Hearts 1 is.
I've done plenty of the PS2 version runs, and it is just under 7 minutes of cutscenes right there. It is 6 minutes and 50 seconds, I think. I started timing cutscenes, I was that bored. So it is pretty nice, though, when you want to, go make a snack.
Right, it's a
in the middle of
nice,
the run.
like, I enjoy doing a Kingdom Hearts 1 run, honestly,
It's a nice chill.
And something
relaxed
to, like,
environment.
just explain what's so interesting about Kingdom Hearts speedrunning. You might think, like, okay, 1.5, that immediately obsoletes ever doing the original Kingdom Hearts 1 or Kingdom Hearts, the original Japanese version. Every Kingdom Hearts speedrun is actually incredibly different. Like, I don't know if you say incredibly different, but they all have their own unique traits. Because Squaresoft, for whatever reason, when they remake these games, they feel the need to balance them in some way. Like the very original version of this game was Kingdom Hearts 1J, or the Japanese version.
Which is basically a prototype.
Yes. Ars Arcanum, which a lot of people know is like the big limit in this game, only costs 2 magic? Or,
Yes,
it costs
2.
2.
Costs 2.
So when you're rolling there with like 8, 9 MP at the end, you just spam the crap out of that at the end of the game. So it changes a lot of combat strategies all throughout.
Okay, I'm a little bit far away from the hand. If I position myself better there, I can get knocked. I can get, like, pushed back by this hand as he's pulling it back to be closer to him to hit it. I keep getting stuck underneath it.
You immediately
There we
see
go.
the
That was a
clunky.
bit unfortunate.
You immediately see the clunkiness of the platforming involved even within a boss fight. So constantly the skill level of a player is determining like how he's able to adjust there. It like you just say like, all right, if I do this, I might get pushed to the ground. Ground combos we haven't really explained. Ground combos are just really, really slow.
Yeah.
And air combos are really, really fast because as soon as you hit the ground, it'll cancel your animation. So if you do short hops, 1, 2, 3, land, immediately jump again, 1, 2, 3, that's a lot faster than doing a ground combo.
Yeah, it's similar to a lot of games where you can kind of cut off the tailing end of an animation after you've already dealt your damage. You can do the same thing in this game if you land on the ground after doing your finisher for an air combo. So that's kind of the idea there. So now we're in Traverse Town. This is like the first main world. Normally, when you play this game casually, you wander around Traverse Town for a while. You see a bunch of cutscenes with Donald and Goofy and them searching for you, and you walking out. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode. You're walking out of a door right as they come in it. Turns out that the way the game determines that you've like explored enough is just if you kill 5 shadows, which I just did.
All right, 3
So-
swings, bro, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, it's random how many shadows will jump at you there. I don't think it's any less than 1. I think I've always at least had one of them jump.
Right.
But
You're just standing there, just please.
yeah, the ideal is to get 4 or 5 to jump at you there. 5 is very unlikely, but 4 is pretty regular. So to have only 3 jump at me there is unlucky, but 2 jumped right after, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
We killed 5. That's what matters. So now that I've talked to Sid here, when I leave here, I will get a cutscene introducing me to Squall, or Leon. But if I hadn't killed 5 shadows, I would not get this cutscene. So he gave me a bit bad RNG. You want to explain
Yes.
what's going on there, Spec?
He can either shoot a fireball at you there, he can jump straight at you. You'd rather have him jump at you because obviously it just closes the distance faster. To note in that fight, on beginner mode and maybe standard, I don't know. Standard is actually its own kind of cool category, but there's a lot of like middling things you do because of having more strength but not having EXP 0, which is something else we're not going to get into. So on beginner there, we actually defeat Leon because it's just straight up faster. The experience is not a big deal. Of course, I guess that gets close to level 7. But yeah, just once again, short air combos, 1, 2. You have to debate. You can more quickly get into combos if you go just 1, 2, 1, 2, and it doesn't knock Leon away from you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that will determine whether we use a 1, a 1, 2, or a 1, 2, 3. It's not always just go all out.
Yeah,
There's
a lot of
like little
combos-
subtle things.
A lot of combos in this game are actually like very well thought out and planned out, as opposed to just spamming the attack button.
Right.
So now we just went through a few cutscenes. We're going to talk to Leon here, who is going to ask us if we're ready. Gonna go ahead and pop outside to fight some more Heartless. I'm going to kill one soldier on my way to the guard armor fight. Again, that's just so that I will hit level 7 right before guard armor.
Yeah, you won't see him get it right here, but it'll be at the end of the soldiers fight, the group fight that you are forced into after or before, once you get Donald and Goofy coming up here. To note, there was an elixir back in that hotel, and he actually will be collecting a fair amount of elixirs and mega elixirs for late in the run. But right now, we just don't really need it.
Yeah, we're going to get 3 elixirs and 3 mega elixirs in this run. The first of which we already got by beating Leon. We're going to, well, we technically haven't received it yet, but we're going to get
I forgot.
an
Yeah,
elixir.
that's another benefit of beating Leon.
Yeah, we're going to get an elixir by beating Leon, and then we're going to get a few others as well. They're all mainly used, not even mainly, they all are used at the very end of the game.
Right.
Mainly just because they refill your health and MP, and that's where you need it most.
JHobz being the walking Terminator right now with all the strength increases. He can kill all these guys with 2 hits, as you're seeing. And, I thought they were all dead. I thought that was an amazing
Donald can actually kill them in one fire. So ideally, you'll have Donald targeting other targets. But I'm going to do this fire.
Yeah. This is, as you can see, he got a little unlucky there. It's still pretty important to get that deflect there, because now he's going to get a stagger coming up here as well. Oh, I guess not the stagger.
No, you do too much damage.
You do too much damage in the air. Okay.
Usually.
Yeah, I'm mostly a proud runner, so I'm adjusting
All right,
a little bit. But that shows you how much that one strength increase really helps.
As long as he'll lunge himself at me twice if I don't have that strength increase or I'm too slow. So the fact that he only lunged himself at me once is really important. You might have noticed that I threw an item during the fight there. There's a little bit of time where guard armor is invulnerable after you've broken all of his pieces. And during that time, I threw a potion because we do not need it. We're not at risk of dying in this run for a long time.
You actually do get to that point, but it's not going to be for a while. And
yeah, it's not for a long time. And that potion being in our inventory actually messes us up for using other items like ethers.
Right.
So we want to just get rid of it. We don't need it.
And what ends up happening in this game is if you pick up an item on the ground, it goes into your inventory slot if you have open slots there. So he'll also have to pay attention. Like there's a couple places where he's going to be killing some enemies later on. Possibly they will drop potions and they would drop into his inventory. So when he has a little bit of dead time there, it's always good for him to just get rid of them.
Yeah.
So right there, he just got the elixir.
This part, I'm going to try to, I'm not sure if you could see my controller, so I'm going to try to bring this back. This black text, tutorial text that shows up right here, you can mash basically every frame. I don't know exactly what it is.
I would not be surprised. It looks like about every
so I
frame
want to show the way I mash this is I actually am hitting circle and triangle with both my hands, both my thumbs, and I kind of vibrate my arm, but I'm going to do a menu here.
Big thing here is he's grabbing the ether from Goofy because, again, ethers are important. He took off the ribbon, which gave him elemental resistance, and put on the Brave Warrior, which will increase his strength, which, again, more strength is always good. And he equipped the dodge roll there, which is going to be our main mode of movement throughout the entire run.
Yeah.
You will get other stuff like glide and super glide later, but dodge roll is your #1 way, your bread and butter for getting around.
Yeah. That was a perfect menu, so I'm really happy with that.
Nice.
Let's see if we can do perfect menu.
These are a lot harder to do perfectly.
They're
Just
the
'cause
worst menus in any video
they
game
really
ever.
are. And it is like anyone who played this. I remember when I first started running this game, I just didn't do anything with these menus. And when I say this game, I mean way back in the
almost
Game Boy One.
perfect.
There's natural just kind of input lag with the gummy menus, so you have to have you can't just mash everything out like he did the other menus earlier. He's got to imply a little bit of timing there to make sure he doesn't go in the wrong areas.
Yeah, so my kind of theory, there's a lot of weirdness in this game when it comes to menus, both cutscene skips and regular menus and gummy menus. My main theory for why you have to delay sometimes is that anytime the game is doing a kind of fading animation, it won't accept any inputs.
Right.
That is my theory. And so whenever a cutscene, for example, is fading in from black, you can't you just can't skip it. And whenever a menu is backing out of it and fading away the sub-menu, you can't do things. So that's why you'll see kind of a rhythm to a lot of these menus.
Now, you might sit here and say, JHobz, why is this a tissue box?
Yeah, so we actually, because this is definitely how mass travels in space.
Right.
But if you have too many armor pieces on your gummy ship, it has more mass and therefore moves slower. I don't think that's exactly how space works.
Right. So
we're gonna just put the bare essentials on for now. We're gonna put on a cockpit and a fire G, which is the engine. I moved to that spot on the screen because it lets me put down the controller.
yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Let me hop in on a couple donations.
Yeah,
while
go for it.
Yeah, a couple nice.
All right, so we got $50 from the Not So Shy Guy saying, "Hey guys, it's the Not So Shy Guy. I watched a good amount of races that finished yesterday in person. I'll be watching the rest of them doing homework. Thank you, Ghoul and Spike, probably make my night yesterday. When I got home, I started to make plans to go to SGDQ.
Yeah.
Waiting to get days
Nice,
off
dude.
approved if all goes right. Hope to see you guys there. One last thing, thank you, Ghoul, for letting Tourney Locator host this event. I hope we can do more events like this in the future."
Cool.
We have an anonymous $29.31 donation, which puts us at the $500 mark.
Woo!
Which means Tourney Locator should be chipping in another $100, or at least Wet will be, I think. Lastly, we have $10 from Ozzy saying, "Heyo, it's Ozzy. Had to support my RPG buds with what little I could spare. Looking forward to seeing you all next month. Good work putting this crazy event together, Ghoul. I know it's never as easy as you made it look."
Ozzy is another runner that will be at RPG Limit Break running Yokai Watch with Ghoul right here in a co-op run.
Yep.
Yes,
So we'll be
yes.
splitting it up. He'll be doing the first half. I'll be doing the second.
Cool.
So.
Thank you guys for your donations. Love to keep them coming. Always.
I
always
think
good to
we
support
can.
a good
I think we
cause.
can get to $1,000 by the end of the run. Just throw that out
Yeah.
there.
Come on, challenge.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Yeah.
Let's get to 1,000.
No, 2,000. Screw it. Go for it. So yeah, here we are, Wonderland, the first Disney-themed world. So I love this world in a speed run because you have to do almost nothing.
Yeah, it is so short.
What the game kind of intends you to do here is that, all right, Alice is guilty as viewed by the queen, so you have to go around and prove her innocence. You find 4 pieces of evidence proving that she was not the one who did it. It was the soldiers, or the shadow, or the heartless. The
Soldiers was right.
Yeah, I mean, it was the soldiers, yeah. But I was like, not specifically, that soldier did it. We only are going to collect 1 piece of evidence, because at 1, then we can at least go on trial.
Yeah,
we
if
might
I
get it
can
wrong,
butt in
and we actually
real-
want to get it wrong. Go
Let me
ahead.
butt in real quick. I have to actually hug that wall incredibly close as I'm moving to that piece of evidence. Otherwise, I spawn another enemy. And one thing we haven't touched on yet in this game is that you have a blue command menu in the bottom left there. When that command menu turns red, it means you're in a fight, and you can't perform any type of like examine or talk options.
Right.
So whenever we want to open things like chests or boxes, hold on. I think that's the 4th one.
Yeah, second from the right.
Whenever we want to examine things, we need to make sure we have a blue menu. So I have to make sure I didn't spawn any enemies there.
So right here, you might think this is just random. He wanted that to be Donald and Goofy. He wanted it to look like them because he does not want them in this fight. There's actually, if you could do this for more fights, that'd be great. But we'll stick with this one. You know that by when the boxes fall down, whatever the first one that lands is, that will be the soldier or the heartless, and the last one will be Donald and Goofy.
Whoa, it targeted the
Also,
wrong enemy.
the lock-on is bad.
So this fight is really hard, actually, because this crank does not like to die, and these black cards want to keep hitting you.
You'll notice very subtly he's actually doing slower combos here. For whatever reason, that just deals better damage to them. I don't know. You could probably explain that one a little better than me afterwards.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either, but we looked at it through a cheat that allowed us to have scan at this point, and we just saw that the health was going down slower when you were actually effectively...
No, it doesn't have health.
Oh, it doesn't have health?
No.
Then I don't know how you guys figured that out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I don't really know exactly who it was. I think Bloody might have been
I think
the one
it
to
was
fully
Bloody who
confirm
figured
it.
it out,
I think
yeah.
Riz had a theory, and Bloody might have confirmed it. But yeah, if you do your combos slower, it's almost like the tower might have iframes or something after every hit.
Sure.
And so,
So
if
you're
you
letting each
slow
hit
down,
land.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you slow down your combos, then you're letting it like get past the iframes. I am very bad at that fight.
No, that's genuinely, I
parried a
think...
lot.
I mean, I love this video game. Don't get me wrong. I think that's one of the worst fights in this game. Just, you're surrounded by card soldiers. When you're on higher difficulties, those card soldiers like 3-shot you. It's pretty bad. But, okay, so we talked a little bit about the despawn strat. Again, keep keep track, he's got a blue command menu right now. He is avoiding trigger spots all over the floor here. This is just a booby trap room for Heartless. And he needs to examine and light both of these torches and then also open up the latch on the door. Also, that always looks scary. If you just dodge roll, just press square flat with no movement, he will always go onto that platform.
Yeah. So right
now he's going to turn and get clear to the door. He throws in the swing just so he can get that extra distance, and then just carefully moves himself there and then mashes out the triangle to get through there.
Yeah.
You notice right at the end, after he went through the door and the latch opened, that the command menu went to red. He wouldn't have been able to do it at that point. He would have had to clear the Heartless out of the room, at least despawn them in some way. Yeah. So, and just like that, we are at the boss of the world. So you skip over a lot of chunks of the game.
Trickmaster used to be one of my least favorite fights, and it has quickly turned into one of my favorite fights
to actually grind
to
out.
actually do because, well, it's just really precise, really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the finisher. Ooh, this is not a good start.
He'll be killing him
about
after the
3 hits
fourth
down.
knockdown. So.
Yeah. Okay. We were 3 hits down. That puts us back on schedule. There we go. Wow, that one should not have whiffed.
In general, avoiding whiffs in this game with Sora is really hard. Kingdom Hearts 2 helped you out a lot more with stuff like Slide Dash and Aerial Spiral that just locked on to the target quite a bit. Whereas this one, Sora can just decide to just close his eyes to swing the Keyblade.
Yeah, that wasn't the best fight. I think I didn't delay enough at the beginning. At the very beginning of that fight, I actually stand on the table and don't move to try to get the Trickmaster to come a little bit closer to me. Yeah. And I think I didn't quite delay as long as I normally do. And just something as minute as like a quarter of a second there can make me whiff that first hit, which leads to all of the other problems. So
I think like a fight like that goes to show, like there are probably a lot of people who watched that at home and went, "Wow, that went really, really fast."
Yeah, it still did. It still wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was something like overall something ideal. You would have maybe wanted to be 5 seconds faster.
Yeah, maybe
yeah.
At most.
But it shows you like that attention to detail on a category like this. Like in my opinion, I know a lot of people can dog on like, oh, it's beginner. I think this is the most pure form of the speedrun, and the level they've pushed it to. Like JHobz plays this game at a very high level, and you think about it, it's still 7 minutes behind the world record in a less than 3 hour category. So it shows you how rough this can be playing it at this level.
Yeah. With that in mind, we've got a little bit of a break here. Ghoul, you want to plug anything? Any donation comments or anything?
Yeah, once again, this is Race to the Finish. This is the second to last day we have. Tomorrow will be our last day. We are here live at FX Game Exchange raising money for Cook Children's Medical Center using Extra Life as a platform. They're a local children's hospital here in Dallas that does some absolutely amazing work. So it's been an absolute pleasure to work with them. So yeah, if you guys have been enjoying the content, please feel free to drop a $1, $2. Every little bit will help us get towards that goal and help out some kids. So that's really what the goal is.
1,000 by the end of the run.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Ghoul was very passionate about getting to do it for this charity. Obviously we've helped out some really great organizations like the Prevent Cancer Foundation, NAMI, Médecins Sans Frontières, or Doctors Without Borders. It's really nice getting to help out a local organization that, once again, Ghoul is very passionate about and does great work. So thank you guys for your generosity so far. Let's push to the $1,000 mark by the end of this run, I think. So once again, here we are in the Gummy Missions. One thing to note, because he took all that armor off, he is much more prone to die. Even here on beginner mode, things will actually deal quite a bit of damage.
He also has no gun.
And he has no gun.
I have no gun. I'll be putting on a gun later, not because I exactly need it, but for some pretty nice reasons.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, we're arriving here at Deep Jungle. Going to go ahead and crash land without Donald and Goofy. We're going to start off Deep Jungle here by fighting Sabor, or as Miss like to call him, Sabor the Tiger. And Sabor is actually really tricky boss because his hitbox is so low to the ground that if you're going to do aerial combos, you have to really, really keep those combos low to the ground. And if you're not going to do aerial combos, then you're losing time because, as we mentioned, ground combos are significantly slower.
The hardest piece of tech in this game are short ground combos, is barely hopping off the ground and landing these air combos on these very low to the ground targets. Which actually did quite a bit throughout the round. That was still good. Yeah. There's also, it's not just dealing the ground combos. Sabor's going to move however he/she wants to.
Yeah. And I'm going to keep using he because even though
Yes.
it's wrong, that's what the game says.
But yeah, to note, in the canon of Tarzan of Disney, Sabor is a girl, but or a woman tiger. But in Kingdom Hearts, if you look at the journal entry, they refer to it as a he. So yeah, there's your most useful piece of information we're going to give you.
Here's a
today.
little menu, Spike. You should be able to tell what's going on here.
Yeah. Right there, what he did was, let's see, he took off the 2 top abilities of Tarzan. Just the top 2?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. He took off the top 2 abilities of Tarzan because those are those are offensive abilities, and he would rather Tarzan just use his regular abilities.
Yeah, when Tarzan uses his offensive abilities, he can often knock enemies really far away, which is not desirable, or he can stun Sabor when we fight him again later. And so we're just going to take that off. We're just going to have him attack normally, and we do way more damage than Tarzan anyways, so we don't really need to worry about him doing too much damage. I also put on the draw or treasure magnet.
Okay, I was actually trying to
Sora.
remember what that was in beginner.
Yeah, which that is more to kind of just pick up money faster, because sometimes when money is laying around on the ground and your party members are running around, they can delay fights by constantly picking up money.
Right.
So having draw on will help us keep the money pickups very short, and will also help us grab some MP bubbles later on, which will help us just keep our MP healthy. MP standing for magic points.
Of course. Another thing right there that he just did before that, that's another example of this game giving you this really fun to optimize platforming section where he collected all 6 of
love
those
the
slides
slots.
around it. Yeah, actually grinding out platforming action segments like that is actually really enjoyable in my opinion.
Yeah. One of the reasons I have run this game so much longer than attempting KH2 is that I love the platforming in it.
And here's another example of it right here called Hippo Hop.
Yep.
By him having perfect movement all throughout that screen, that allowed him to get to that hippo right before it went too low. Otherwise, he would have lost about 3 seconds to Sora having to wade around in the water, get his slippery nips, and then have to wait for the hippo to come back up and jump up on the platform.
I was wondering if we were going to make that
We
reference.
forgot to at the actual slippery nips point, but yeah. So here we are. Another thing, so once again, you kind of, just by knowing how to move through the game and understanding its mechanics, you skip a lot of stuff. A lot of people remember probably going on the vines all throughout Deep Jungle. We're never going to do that. A lot of people remember sliding down the tree trunk. Yeah, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, we just quit out of that.
That was something I never knew. In the original KH1, you can just quit it, and the game's like, yeah, okay, well, if you don't want to play it, that's fine. We'll just put you at the end. So
Yeah, you can also dodge roll over railings like I just did there in this game for most railings, and I'm going to be doing that a lot to just kind of, again, optimize movement a little bit. One thing to note about the Hippo Hops is that we're not going to be doing it anymore.
Right.
We're actually going to enter the
It used to
Hippo
be
Lagoon.
you do go through Hippo's Lagoon 3 times, but the other 2 times we actually have a more optimal, a faster way to go through it, which
Yeah.
we'll get to here in just a second. So now that we've kind of run around, we're running around to different trigger points in this world. Now we're going to start the combat. This is another, I think, really fun segment is optimizing Power Wild's fight. I like it. I think it's a really cool dynamic that you have to always react to where they're going. And you'll see right here, this is where you notice how strong magic is. Yo, what's up, Lizard?
Oh, he didn't get hit by 2. Okay.
There you go. So that shows you how powerful magic is in this game. That with that spread shot, he was able to just blow up 4 of the 5 Power Wild Heartless there very quickly.
Yeah, we'll be using Blizzard for all of these Power Wilds. We're going to do our best to kind of route out our MP as optimally as we can. I do have that 1 ether that I took from Goofy earlier.
Probably going to use it.
And I'm going to use that I'm going to use it right before the treehouse fight.
Yeah.
So right here I'm entering the Vine minigame, and instead of actually going on any Vines, I'm just going to quit, and it's going to move me from Vines 1 to Vines 2.
Yeah.
And Vines 2 is where we needed to be. So,
And that's a couple seconds. It's just a few seconds faster, but
yeah, it's like 3 seconds.
so right
that was
there,
good.
even just that subtle piece of movement optimization right there. He did 1 dodge roll. He locked onto the middle Power Wild, and then was able to spam 2 blizzards there for a consistent kill of all 3 of them in 2 shots.
Yeah, if you're really fast, it's consistent. More often than not, one of them will hop out of your way.
Do you need another ether?
Not yet.
Okay, you're doing
I
after
actually,
this
yeah,
one.
I
Okay.
actually use one. So an ether will refill 3 MP. A lot of runners decide to just use it here and lose the 1 MP. I actually decide to throw one in here. first. Oh, I
that
had a
was a
potion.
potion.
I had a potion that I didn't notice.
It's all right, because they're teaming up, dude.
Yeah, so I am really low on MP now. Ooh, okay. Let's just kill him. All right.
So you're constantly throughout this, you are reacting to, okay, where's my MP levels at? Where are all the Power Wilds grouped together? When is it worth it for me to use my MP? He's only going to be able... At this point, you are probably just using physicals on this group.
I always only use physicals in this room unless I have an excess of MP. I want to try to keep as much MP as I can for the last room. Oh, I thought you were taking it. To note, these Power Wilds will die in one full combo, so any 3 physical hits, or 2 blizzards, or a blizzard and a physical hit.
Right.
So because of that, if I think a party member has hit them, I might do less attacks. If I know that they've been hit by a blizzard, I might do less attacks, all that kind of thing.
Knock him. And then that should set you up right here.
Auto target. That's okay. We're
Auto target. It's all right. You are almost there. And the nice thing about fire is it's heat-seeking. So it's a good one for him to drop to there where he knows he only has one target in front of him instead of just a general spread shot.
Yeah. A little rough overall in the Power Wilds, but I kind of rather it be that way so you can see how they can easily spread out.
And there was still a lot of just like cool reacting to what was going on there.
Not having that, or having that potion, that was a random drop that I didn't notice. I definitely should have. I should have been able to react to that.
We're doing a lot of commentary, so it's understandable. And now we are going into Sabor. This was actually a strategy. You use your strat here, right?
I might as well.
You might as well.
I actually don't anymore, but I'm going to go ahead and do it right now.
This is a cool strat that JHobz came up with to help out proud mode runners, idiots like myself. But he's first baiting Sabor back here into this loading zone, and then he's going to jump over it, do a short combo, knock him into the more into the loading zone, and then kill him. Very nice there. Yeah. It's not the most optimal strat.
Yeah,
there,
in beginner, you want to actually knock him towards the opposite loading zone, basically, where you want to try to get him near Tarzan and just keep him stun locked. But it's pretty difficult. It's very likely that he'll hop into the bamboo and become invulnerable for a few seconds. And I could tell Spike was about to mention it, so I thought I'd just go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, just don't sell me out. Yeah. So it's also important to note that throughout the Power Wall segment there, he now has 4 MP. He only had 3 at the start of the Power Wall segment. If you did not start with staff, you would have only had 2. So that's another place where, once again, picking the staff really came in handy. Our last time through the hippos, again, let's see.
Ugh.
Oh, frame perfect.
Frame perfect.
It's amazing how often, because you're trying to like just time that right. And you can tell by the number of milliseconds that go by up in the top right corner on the timer. So now we're here. Black fruit looks suspicious. This is a bizarre fight in that Tarzan and Donald don't actually deal damage to it. It doesn't matter if you equip some other Keyblade or
takes
more.
15 hits.
It's just 15 Keyblade hits is how you knock it down. Does damage or magic even do?
I actually don't know.
We've always just done it because it's not worth the time to sit down there and spam it because you won't have enough.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, it'd be interesting to know though. Yeah, it's 15 physical hits as far as we know. And with that, we're going to move on to the final boss of this world, which is
Clayton.
Clayton.
I hadn't been a lot of sleep the last few days. It's fine. All right, so here we are at Clayton.
Yeah, I always try to pay attention to if I have any items before I jump down to Clayton, because there is a time where I might be able to throw some items. But have you seen the animation skip yet? I don't think you have. We'll talk about it in a second. Okay, so this guy takes 6 hits, or if Donald uses a fire, he takes 5 hits.
Yeah,
so
he can on the fly switch it to 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 if he sees fire come out.
Here, I'm going to try to skip the animation of Stealth Sneak appearing. Can I get it? Oh, not quite. If you have Stealth Sneak start appearing and like trip on that route, the animation actually cuts short. I also had him run into the side of the cliff there to just cut his jump short.
Now it's all about very fast 1-2s. He doesn't want to use a finisher here because that's going to knock Clayton away. And one
there.
gone.
I should have done a finisher there.
Okay.
I'm going to try to listen to my PS3 for this one.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
I couldn't hear it at all.
Yeah, I barely heard it.
I actually have a general just internal clock when I hear the bird chirping, what to go off of. But yeah, there's a lot of. If he was actually playing this game in 4x3, then he actually can see the black bars that come in, and that will give you a very obvious visual cue for when to skip cutscenes.
Welcome to the hardest boss in the game.
Is there a disadvantage to playing in 4x3 beyond, like, the fact you're playing in 4x3?
Nope, just looks worse.
It just looks worse. That was okay. That was
perfect.
Okay. No one here understands how impressive that was.
So
what he just did.
That last jump is not—it's not by any means pixel perfect, but it's very—it's like one of the closest things we have to.
Yeah.
It's one of the closest things we have to pixel perfect in this
That
game.
is the hardest piece of platforming in the game, in my opinion. Just like as a whole,
No, it
not just the
definitely
one
is.
jump.
Yeah, the camera in Waterfall Cavern really likes to kind of warp out on you, just move around wildly, unless you keep it roped in really well. So I barely touch the camera in that, which means that a lot of the jumps I'm doing are basically blind, and I just have to make sure that I'm doing everything exactly the same every time. I did line up that last jump just a little bit, which I normally kind of go for it blind, but I've been messing it up lately, so I lined it up a little bit.
JHobz and a couple of the people in the community, particularly Zetris as well, who ran this game on the Proud mode at HDQ, you guys have always liked to do a bunch of, just quote-unquote dumb races.
Yeah.
You guys did one where you never touched the camera, and I think you said it yourself, that actually helped you in that segment.
My gold segment is still from that.
It's still from
my
that,
goal. I
though.
actually have a split only for that Waterfall Cavern platforming. That's how much time
he
I
has
can
a split
easily
for
lose there.
Clayton, and then another separate split just for the Waterfall Cavern.
Yeah, it just lets me divide that portion separately from everything else because I've lost upwards of 30 seconds there before.
Yeah.
I've lost runs there before. Pretty much every runner has. And so having a split there just lets me see, like, okay, I'm doing fine. And I got a gold segment on that in our race where we didn't touch the camera the entire run. I was so unbelievably livid and also laughing hysterically at the same time. So with that, we've got Traverse Town 2 coming up. There's some stuff we'll talk about in a little bit, but I want to shoot it over to Google, see if there's anything
We do have
you got
one
for us.
pretty big donation. We have $100
Hey!
saying, this is Wet with Tourney Locator. Thanks to everyone who has donated so far. Keep up the great work, everyone.
Yeah? All
Very
right,
nice.
thanks.
Good steam. That puts us, I'm assuming, around, was 6:15 or something?
610.
6:10.
Cool.
6:10. Another 390 to go, guys.
We can do it. We got it.
Yeah, we got
Do it.
this. So, to note, actually, a little piece of information right here is that we are actually deciding to go backwards through Wonderland to get back to Traverse Town, as opposed to going further around. I remember, I think I just naturally did it back when I was speedrunning KH1 back in the day, and it's actually about 15 seconds faster to just go
I
backwards.
thought it was more.
Is it more than that?
I'm not sure. The other one feels long.
It's 20 minutes faster. It's crazy. To note, Olympus Coliseum, we never have to go to it.
Yep.
There's nothing required. It's the only way you're going to get the Thunder ability for us.
Not the only way.
Not the only way, yeah, but it's the base.
Best way.
Yeah. To note the way magic works in this game is that there are different fights or chests you can find that will give you imagine like a fire. And then once you get the second upgrade somewhere, it will become Fyra. But if you go out of order, there are 3 different places you can get a Thunder ability. But you can't ever just skip to Thundara or skip to Thundaka. You have to do all 3 of those things, whatever order it might have been in.
Yeah. So basically, there are 3 optional worlds in this game. There is Olympus Coliseum. Whoops, let me set myself up here for a second. All right.
You're going to do it.
No, we're fine. So there's Olympus Coliseum, which is completely optional. 100 Acre Wood is also completely optional. And then out of the 3 worlds, Monstro, Atlantica, and Halloween Town, you only have to do 2 of those 3. Any 2 of those 3, and you can progress through the game. We actually decided to do Monstro and Halloween Town because even though Atlantica is the most consistent world in a speedrun,
it's also
of a Kingdom Hearts game, it's also slower.
Yeah. It's slower, and the added problem there is that you will never get gravity in the route if you don't. And gravity is, in my opinion, the best magic in this game.
Yeah.
I think it's
that or stop.
That or stop. Yeah. So we use them in tandem quite a bit in the end game in particular. But yeah, gravity is going to do percentile damage or percentage damage. Percentile? I think I made up a word. Oh, percentage damage.
That's a real word.
Oh, percentile? Oh, okay. But it's going to do percentage damage, and you'll see late in the run it's going to do a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the main reason. Like, even if Atlantica were faster, we would still go to Halloween Town because we want gravity. Unfortunately, it's slower anyways.
Yeah. Monstro is by far the fastest, so you don't want to skip that one.
And we get stopped from Monstro.
Oh, that's valid? Okay, yeah.
Which we need as well.
I don't think I actually knew stop was from Monstro, but...
Yeah, we'll see those coming up later. Now we're back in Traverse Town here, and pretty much the same as what we'll do every time we're in Traverse Town, with the exception of one fight. We're just going to go ahead and deliver a bunch of quests.
Right.
We're going to go talk to Leon a couple times, and he's going to give us the gem Earthshine, which will let us summon Simba later.
Who's actually going to be very useful throughout the run.
And then from there, we're going to go ahead and talk to Sid and do some selling. I'll explain a bit more about that when we get there. And then we're going to go talk to Merlin for a little while. And
here, you notice JHobz is dealing with a red command menu. He stands right there to manipulate only those last two yellow operas coming over to him.
Yeah, so I actually got the best RNG there. Yeah. Either 0, 1, or both yellow operas can follow you. And it's actually slightly faster if they follow you and you kill them than it is for them to stay away and despawn.
Yeah, he'll get to his blue command menu faster.
Yeah, so that was really good. I got the best RNG there, and I didn't mess up, so I didn't let him fly away.
It's actually, if they can kind of get a little bit messed up there. If you go down the other alley just a little bit, that will spawn a bunch of enemies there that you'll then have to kill. If you don't move fast enough, some of the other enemies could follow you. So doing that isolates it to where he only had to worry about the two yellow operas.
To note, we mentioned before we're playing on the Japanese version because of text. Traverse Town 2, as well as Traverse Town 1 after Guard Armor, are some of the main reasons that the Japanese version is faster. Like, these visits alone make up for a large portion of the time difference. To note, there are a few small gameplay differences between Japanese and English. I don't think I'm really going to bother going over them for the most part. They're generally things like I can't move for a half a second somewhere where I normally can.
Right.
Stuff like that. So not too big of a deal to go over. Here I'm going to do this little fountain jump, which is deceptively difficult. And we got it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is jump straight up and then hold forward to grab the ledge, whereas a lot of people, when trying to learn this game, will hold forward when they jump, and you actually will bonk your head on the little ledge there. So.
Yeah, you're looking for that little neutral jump. Kingdom Hearts 1.5 has a lot of segments. Like, the platforming, if you haven't played this, doesn't look that difficult. If you have played it, you know it's balls hard.
Yeah.
So.
And Sora...
It's very awkward.
Sora sometimes likes to pour cement in his shoes for fun.
Yeah.
And just really,
look at him.
hug the ground. He's got big clown shoes.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're talking to Sid now. He's going to give us a book that we need to deliver to Merlin. This book actually turns out to be 100 Acre Wood. We don't care. We only are going to deliver it to him because we need to. We're not actually going to use it at all. But the more important thing that we're going to do here is we're going to talk to Sid, and we're going to sell almost everything that we have in our inventory. Yeah. Spike, you want to go over what we're leaving here?
The only things he's not going to sell are the single elixir that he got earlier, which is right there. And he's also not going to sell the White Fang, which he got from beating Sabor. We actually didn't equip it right after we got right after we got it, because I don't know, does it actually make Clayton any faster?
No, we were maxing out on damage. Already.
We were already maxed on damage. So like I said, he had already hit the peak. Here in the first half of the run, you'll see a lot of times we're already at that max damage range.
Yeah. A lot of the times whenever we equip a new item, we're actually we're equipping a new or a little bit of extra strength, because we were doing max damage to a boss and then would have done less than max damage to the next boss.
Right.
So we put on that new piece of equipment with strength in order to make us back up to maximum damage. And when I say maximum damage, this game actually scales your damage, so that way you can't... Oh, air soldiers and jerks. Closest thing we have to RPG jerk breaks. But yeah, the game actually scales your damage because it doesn't want you, grinding to level 100 on Destiny Islands and then going and one-shotting a boss with a single Keyblade swing. So the way that it works is there are battle levels of every enemy and every world and everything, and they kind of relate to Sora's current strength, and will scale his current strength up to a maximum amount, or down or up actually, up to a minimum amount or down to a maximum amount. Because this is beginner mode and we got those 8 power-ups at the beginning, and we have an EXP necklace on, which lets us level up a bit faster, and we took Dawn route, we're going to be at maximum strength pretty much the entire run, including the final bosses. We actually won't bother upgrading our Keyblade at the very end for something that you actually could do and normally would do in Proud mode, because we don't need the extra strength.
That's something that we actually used to do in beginner mode. So, with that, here we are. We're talking to Merlin. Like I said, we got to give him the book. Normally, we could also learn some magic from him, or we get the Spellbinder from him. That's right. We practice, later on, but that's for something else. We've got right here, we can talk to the Fairy Godmother, and we will be getting Simba. From that summon gem that Leon gave us earlier, and that actually ends up being very important. The summon animation, or the summons, are something else that you probably didn't use that much in casual play, but are extremely broken, overpowered, particularly Simba, once you actually apply them in a speed run, and just knowing how they work. He also, right there, is subtle. He stepped on that save point. It's because he actually wants to warp back here later in order to get another summon and just have quicker access to get back here and grab it.
Yep, exactly.
And we'll save that for later. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, even though I had to talk to Merlin twice, I actually interrupted the flow of things to go touch that save point, because if you do it afterwards, he actually pops up a text box that says you should go talk to Sid.
Right.
So I made sure I did it before that text box would have shown up.
With that, here we are. There's when we first got into speedrun this game, I always wanted to find some way to skip the trigger for this cutscene, but it doesn't work. So that's where you normally talk to Riku right there if we weren't skipping the cutscene. And then we're going to move up here. We're actually going to first also use this, because this will give us easy access from District 3 back to District 1. The reason why he does it right there as opposed to just on the way is because when he comes back out, Heartless will spawn. And once again, he'll have a red command menu, and he won't be able to do it. He'd have to clear the room, which there's a lot of Heartless in that room.
Yeah, to bring on, or to talk on that point about the cutscene skip that you said, trying to find some way to skip the trigger. It actually turns out that in this game, we've found some ways to skip cutscenes every now and then, or skip triggers for things. But this game seems to tie in story events to the actual cutscene triggers themselves.
Right.
So even though we found ways to kind of bypass doors and stuff, we can't actually use any of those techniques because that cutscene actually progresses the story.
Right.
The only ones we can fully get around are completely optional to begin with.
This is not to dog on other games like Zelda and whatnot, but Kingdom Hearts games are just generally really well programmed, honestly.
Yeah. Hey,
Shout outs. Okay, so those are, in my opinion, one of the 2 or 3 worst enemies in this game. They have heat seeking. You don't really see it here mainly because he is on beginner, but on Proud mode, that if he had the exact same results right there, he'd be dead right now.
Yeah.
Because he got hit the first time, which would have done half damage, and the second time it would have done
touch the
half.
save, so I might have gotten
so
just
you might
enough
have
health to
right, so not exactly
the
exact
tell them what we're buying here?
We are buying, with all that stuff we just sold, we got over 1,250 money, and we just bought a Fire Gummy and a Haste Gummy. Those are the only 2 items we're going to buy in the entire game. It's just to make the gummy segments go a lot faster. It's really amazing how you might not, even if you've played this game casually, you might not understand exactly how much faster we're moving. All that time we spent going into this really slow gummy menu and just stripping us down to just the ship we have right here, that you made that time back on the very first gummy mission, of which we've already done 4. So, with that, he put on the Fire Gummy. That's going to, again, just make him generally move faster with that faster engine. And he got the Haste Gummy, which think of it as like Star Fox 64 having that little boost that he's going to be able to apply just all over the place.
Yeah, and I'm warping to Wonderland here because even though that warp hole above us looks closer to Traverse Town, it's actually much closer to Wonderland. So warping here saves 4 seconds.
Which is a lot considering you spent all that time right there warping to Wonderland, going through that animation, and then going back. It's just incredibly close to Wonderland, despite it lying to you right there on the screen.
Yeah. I swear speedrunners take pride in having the most janky-looking gummy ships ever.
Yeah, so I was actually going to bring on that point as well. I believe, figured out the literally fastest inputs to do these gummy menus. And so that's why my gummy ship looks like this. And so we're going to talk to Chip and or Dale here. I don't know which one it is. Going to go through this warp hole, and we're going to set the controller.
All right.
So this is something that you can only really do on beginner mode, and is known as either turbo strats or lazy gummy strats, whichever
read Twitter
you're talking to.
strats. Get a drink of water.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna use the restroom. I'll be right back.
It turns out that like most of the gummy ships or gummy missions in beginner, if you sit in the middle of the screen, you can actually just not ever have to move, and you'll pick up enough armor pickups along the way to stay alive. Now, the PS3 has this odd mechanic where if you're holding down buttons and then you press the little PlayStation button here to bring up the OSD, you actually will hold those inputs down. It will keep those inputs held until you press the button again. And since all I need to do is hold circle and square in order to constantly boost and constantly shoot, I can just let the game do the rest for me. We jokingly call them turbo strats because it's almost like the game is like rapidly pressing the button for you, but it's not. It doesn't save any time. It in fact technically loses a little bit of time in a few gummy missions, but it also gives me like 9 opportunities for bathroom breaks in the run. So I will almost always do that whenever possible. Now, that being said, we move into Agrabah, one of the more difficult, probably the most difficult world in the early game, kind of our bridge to the mid-game. It starts off with just kind of, a little bit of running around, not too much here, but we're going to go ahead and work our way towards saving Aladdin, and then we're basically just going to move from boss to boss to boss after that. This world can just take a lot of time from you if you are not absolutely precise with everything.
This world sucks.
It's actually, in beginner, most of it is under your control, but of course. Most of it is under your control in beginner, but it can still feel random. It's so difficult to execute in this world. That being said, get ready for like 19 mistakes.
Yeah. This world, I mean, he just explained it, but yeah, it can be very rough. Right here, he's getting his second elixir of the run. A mega elixir, it's always so bizarre that it's right there. Just like, all right, in Aladdin's house, there's a mega elixir. He's not poor at all.
Yeah, and to reiterate, mega elixirs will refill all of the health and MP of our entire party, with the exception of Goofy if he's dead. That'll come up later. That's a change. It's been changed. All right, so we're going to use Simba for the first time here. I'm going to pause buffer a little bit there 3 times.
Yeah,
Basically, the game has to actually load the data for the summon off the disc. And in the PS2 versions, it does that basically instantly. But while Sora's clutching onto that gemstone there, the enemies can actually move. And if you don't pause buffer like that... Uh-oh. Hold on. We're okay.
Okay.
We're fine.
He can still adjust for this, yeah. Now, just has to make sure Simba doesn't jump.
Don't jump off.
Okay.
Okay, if Simba jumps there, the game crashes. So, yeah.
That is the most common crash. I was worried when you rolled far away.
It's weird because it's one of those 99% of the times kind of thing where you dodge roll to the left twice, 1 tick, and dodge roll back twice and do 2 ticks. And you won't get hit by any bandits. But there's that one.
Yeah.
Probably because I didn't pause buffer enough early on.
Then allow them to move. And there's just randomness to how they move. Yep. Like sometimes I've done it where I've dodge rolled away twice, and one of them's just like, nope, I know what you're doing. So, okay, earlier he was supposed to fight these bandits and unlock this keyhole. However, he skipped that. So what he's going to do right here is actually a very, very tight piece of movement right here. He's going to line himself up and then dodge roll and then mash triangle.
Yes!
Got it.
I got it.
Okay.
That is free in the PS2 versions, but in this version...
you could literally walk up in the PS2 version you're going to get.
Yeah, in this version, it is, like, ridiculously difficult. That being said, Spike and I are, like, great vouchers for always going for it. So.
Yeah. Oh, bam. Oh, no. So, I'm terrible at this game. People know that about me, about video games in general. But the one thing I can hope... Oh, this is a little unfortunate. He just needs to hope either... Yeah, okay.
I'm hoping they killed the other one because I don't know where he is. Yeah.
Okay,
they
yeah,
did.
you killed them all.
Yeah, so
doesn't want to fall down there because that will spawn a lot more Heartless and you
Yeah.
have to leave the room.
Like we said, a lot of the platforming is actually centered around keeping a blue menu. I needed the blue menu in order to unlock that switch there. And if I fell down to the bottom or even just ledge grabbed, I would have spawned a bunch of Heartless and had to either leave the room or try to like dodge roll into a corner to have them despawn or kill all of them.
Yeah.
We don't want to do any of that. That's all slow. So we had a bit of a slow fight there, but at least we didn't.
He also didn't get black mush.
fungus.
Yeah. Black fungus, and it's just completely random whether you get those enemies right there he's able to kill or the black fungus, where it's incredibly slow. Basically what he's forced to is just leave the room and come back in, and it will be the regular Heartless.
Wastes about 15 seconds, maybe
Because
a bit less.
load screens
Just,
are bad.
yeah, because of load screens, and it's just completely random. So glad we didn't get that.
All right, first of 4. This is basically a boss rush now. We got Pot Centipede right here.
I'm gonna hit him once, wait for him to finish that move. I thought I hit him too early. I think. Oh, all right. I think we're okay. Yeah, we're fine. All right. So we got parried a bunch, and I just did the ground finisher. So he's gonna split apart because I don't have near enough damage on him right now, and I keep dropping to the ground, but we'll be okay. So the idea here is to try to kill him before he moves into the other room. Okay.
Okay.
Because I want to quickly travel into this loading zone.
Okay,
all right,
he made
we're
it.
good.
The reason for him getting into this loading zone is, so as you can see, they remove the loading zone triggers all over the place in the Agrabah city when you're in that fight. However, let's say he killed him back in that starting room, he would have had to room transition twice there to go into the middle one and into the last one. Because he killed him there, he was able to just get in that last one and just already be there. Yeah. So that's a big reason why he actually wanted to let Pot Centipede get out of that initial room.
Exactly. Otherwise, I would have to go through 2 loading screens, which is like a solid 8 seconds each one.
Tigerhead here, there is a strategy where you can get him to stay still by manipulating him, by attacking him behind his eye. We're not going to do that because it's actually a little slower.
Yeah.
Because
I only find strats that work for categories I don't run. Right?
Yeah. I say that is the Proud Mode strat because you have to hit him a lot more in Proud Mode. However, here, again, ground combos are slow, air combos are good and fast. So he actually wants to let Tigerhead slam into the ground. Now this is a very tight window here he needs to get through to kill these eyeballs with air combos. I think he's got it, though.
Okay.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, Aladdin wasn't really helping us out too much there. And I fell to the right at the end, which kind of scared me. But
just about to lift back up, at which point he would have had to climb up Tigerhead. He will have already been on such low health and one eye dead that he would have potentially been spinning his head around. And anyone who's played this game casually knows it's really hard to get back up on his head at that point.
So if I land on that piece of land there, I can jump to the loading zone instead of swimming, which is slightly faster. Mm-hmm. I don't really know how to do it consistently. I don't know if it is. I mean, it should be consistent, but
yeah, I can't imagine it's like sub-pixel perfect. Right?
Yeah, it's just I've gotten it before, but I don't know why. So we have to break this pillar in order to clear a path for us to Jafar. And Jafar, we're going to do something pretty cool. We're going to manipulate the boss's AI in order to try to get him to stay on one platform for as long as possible, as opposed to kind of teleporting to all these other platforms that he likes to do, during which he's invulnerable. Spike, you want to explain how we're going to... Oh, actually, before you explain that, I'm going to do...
a really dumb strat.
Yeah, so we're gonna walk over here. We're going to do a jump that saves, like,
nothing.
No time. Okay.
You got it. All right, nice. That's really tight. Okay, so right here, this is Jafar. Bloody Biscuits, about 1.5 years ago or so, came up with a strat where normally we just attacked him and he would always get away before we were able to finish him off. However, we're effectively going to give him another cycle on this middle platform by hitting him twice, and then instead of doing a regular finisher, we're going to use Blizzard. It could be Blizzard, could be Fire. He will put up his magic barrier at that point, which will just keep him still and allow us to deal more damage on him. A lot of this fight's going to come down to Aladdin needs to get up and help us out. Goopy can help as well, but Aladdin does crazy damage.
Both up here. Yeah, earlier we put critical pluses on Aladdin. Ooh, that's not good.
Oh, that's not good. So need to...
Yo!
Yes! Dude.
I did not think I was going to get that.
That is
Aladdin
impossible.
did a lot of damage.
Oh my gosh. That was right up there with Zetrus's kill at Proud. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Very nice.
I shouldn't have gotten that.
There's no way you
if
should.
you fall off there, which I didn't dodge his blast, his ground blast, because
Right.
I was a bit too late on my jump. If you fall down there, you shouldn't normally get that. But I had Aladdin and Goofy up there, and Aladdin must have had some good crits in.
Yeah.
So
Aladdin was going in over there.
Yeah.
He was. You could see him going. A lot of times, the AI in this game of your party members is not great by any means. And you'll see them just like hopping up, not able to get up on that platform. So really nice to be able to do that. Getting in as much damage with Blizzard as he can right here. He is counting it out as well because he doesn't want to over-damage Jafar.
I don't worry about it.
Oh, you don't worry about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just do as much damage as I possibly can. If he gives me the bad pattern, oh well. But I almost never get it, so...
There's also a very subtle piece of movement he did right there to manipulate Iago. Killed him right over the torch. That's really good.
Yeah, that was a really fast fight. Aladdin just doing work, man.
Yeah.
That was a good Agrabah.
But it manipulated Iago. Normally, Iago will just kind of chill over.
You're good.
He'll chill over on that little corner right there. Also, as soon as this little spinning heart's gone, you can skip that cutscene. It's a lot of this is actually knowing when you can skip cutscenes. But Iago will chill over there on that side, like right at the edge, annoyingly, to where you're gonna hit him, you're gonna fall off all the time. But he moved him over to that torch so that he could get a lot more direct damage.
Oh no! Okay, we missed 2 rocks. That's fine. That's fine. We can still die. Yeah. So Spike Vegeta over here.
I am quite the contributor of speed. Let
Contributed
me tell
2 strats to the beginner run that we know of.
Yes.
And the first of which was finding out that you can die in this rock segment on beginner, this falling rock segment. Because there was nowhere
just the
for you
escape
to,
segment in general, we should say.
because there was nowhere to save after. I didn't specify. There's nowhere to save after Genie Jafar, and this game doesn't like you to die without being able to save after a boss fight and stuff. So dying here actually continues to progress the story.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you made it out of there. Right?
Sure.
Aladdin,
on a stretcher.
Yeah, Aladdin probably did the work.
He probably at that point.
He had me on his back the whole Agrabah
good.
already, so.
I'm sure the carpet was fine after getting burned alive.
Yeah, it's fine.
Once again, it's kind of like the riding the tree trunk riding section in Deep Jungle or Tarzan World. It's just kind of like the game's like, here's mini games. Oh, you don't want to play them? Okay.
Yeah, so I want you to keep that in mind. That is one of 2 contributions from Spike Vegeta. Death.
How to be bad at video games.
Yes. To be fair, he was trying to die.
Yes, I was challenged by 2 people who are much better at this game than me, Mistmaster and Sonic Shadow Silver 2. They were like, oh yeah, it's impossible. We knew you could die there on Proud because everything was doing like god damage to you. So you would be, optimally in Proud, you actually die in the rock segment. But I was like, let me try to just hit everything. And I successfully did it, and I died on those fire pillars when JHobz died.
You can die a bit earlier if I had gotten hit by every rock and gotten
Space
hit
flip, as we
space
call
flip,
it.
which is just a more or less RNG falling section.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna move our way over to Monstro, which means I'm gonna kick it over to Ghoul for a little bit.
Once again, this is Race to the Finish. We are Dallas's first ever premier speedrunning event. We're doing Kingdom Hearts 1.5 tonight, but that's not all we're going to be doing. We've got one more day left. So to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek for tomorrow, we've got Shinobi 3 kicking it off. We've got Ninja Gaiden Any Percent and Mega Man 2 by Duckfist, who is probably one of the best speedrunners you will ever meet. We've got Doom 64 by Zella, who's over in the back practicing over there, getting ready for his run.
Yep, nice.
And then we have Final Fantasy 4 as our little closer for this. I like how Hobbs is subtly plugging his own names right there. Just like...
that's... Okay, yeah. It should just be twitch.tv/JHobz296.
No.
Follow me.
HobzSubscribe.
Streambig.net, dude.
There we go. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do.
Okay, we've got our game plan.
Twitch.tv/MuffinCutie/subscribe/totally not a waste of your money. Yeah.
Okay, we figured it out. We just had to actually put it in practice.
Yeah. I always just move it over to here because it's more interesting than looking at the quit game button. I'm always paranoid I'm going to end up accidentally quitting the game if I hover that, so I just hover.
You're like a world record pace, then like, whoops!
Yeah. Would not be so great.
Bump it on the way back from one of those 9 bathroom trips you make.
Yeah, exactly.
You were drinking a lot of water during your speedruns. You did 9 bathroom breaks. I
don't. I have 9 opportunities, so that if at any point in the run I need to go to the bathroom, I'm good to go. No, it's just it actually the pacing for this game. You know, it's a long game. It's a long game for a speed run. It's just under 3 hours, over 3 hours.
It's a long game.
So you work a lot.
Pretty short as far as RPG standards, in all honesty, though.
But at the same time, like it's not 3 hours of constant action, which some might be like, well, that's kind of a bummer. But others are like, thank God.
Oh yeah.
I don't need to be sitting here mashing buttons and paying complete like mental attention for 3 hours straight. It actually has a little bit of like good, like pacing between worlds where you can be like, I just fought 4 bosses. Let's get a little bit of a break.
Yeah, right. So that being said, here we are in Monstro, and even though there's only 2 fights we're engaging in, there's a fair amount of platforming, and actually 2 platforming tricks in particular. One coming up that was just found a couple months ago, maybe 6 months ago by you. It was before AGDQ for sure. Unfortunately, Zetris missed it at AGDQ. Zetris obviously had a great run, but he's terrible. But let's see if JHobz is able to get his own jump. This is actually JHobz Jump 2. This is what he found.
It's, Chamber 3 skip.
Chamber 3 skip is what it is. I am going to call this JHobz or JHobz Jump 1 for the purpose of another one later. So
yeah, so we're gonna just skip some cutscenes here. We're gonna make our way through. We're trying to find Pinocchio right
Riz
now.
says he'll donate if you get Chamber 3 skips, so no pressure.
okay.
Oh, dude, that's like thank you.
I'll donate
Thank
as
you.
well.
Okay.
I'll donate if you get it.
There we go. I'll donate if I get it.
You're right. Just
Okay.
doesn't
so
even
I got it in practice, which means we're screwed.
Yeah.
But we'll do my best.
I'll explain it after he tries it.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna walk into Chamber 2 here. My circle input didn't even go. That was weird.
Did you maybe press early?
Maybe. I don't know. That was very odd. All right. Well, I didn't get it.
So, what he was trying to do there was swing. Okay, so for whatever reason, the loading zone right there, it pops you out really, really high. That was actually the chamber that he just came from, the one that you kind of saw to the left. He was going to try to swing his Keyblade to jump back into the edge of that loading zone, position himself, and then jump over to a ledge. It would have saved him like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's about 10 seconds. You skip 2 loading zones, basically. I mean, missing it here just means I'm going to get it at RPG limit break.
Yeah,
so
it's fine. It's just
okay.
build-up.
I'm sorry, Ghoul. I tried.
It was very bizarre. It was
Yeah,
just
I've never had it not swing before, so that was I just
slowly failed to the ground.
So I don't know. A lot of people will try to mash that out because you need to swing almost
I
as
always
soon
mash.
as the room loads in. I'm terrible at mashing, actually. I'm very bad at it. So what I do is
You're not worse than me.
I
God.
actually react. I actually time that. And so I can only assume that like I happen to randomly have good reaction time for once and did it way too early.
So this fight can be total butts.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Almost.
This could still be good. This is if you jump,
on,
this
yeah.
isn't terrible.
There
Okay,
we
we got through it. So that fight's terrible for a handful of reasons. One, JHobz can't jump.
Yeah.
2, because he's
I'm out.
white.
We're on the same page.
We're on the same page. I'm glad we jumped on that.
Yeah.
2, Riku can be a big help in that fight, but he's usually like, eh.
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna chill on the side of the room.
basically what happens is if we use fast enough combos on either version of Parasite Cage, because we're gonna fight him again. If we use fast enough combos, we can actually completely stun lock him. But the problem is if Donald and Goofy are attacking him, he'll break out of our stun lock. I'm gonna shut up for just 1 second so I can focus on this menu here.
In which what he's doing is he's finally equipping the 3 wishes Keyblade. Oh, okay.
Also, Zetris jump. Oh, I'm bad.
Zetris found this jump.
Zetris
That's
jump.
why it's
Okay.
called Zetris
It
jump.
still saves time if I get it the second try.
Yeah, that's another one saves about 10
Hey,
seconds.
we got a fast load.
Yo, nice. And it's fast loading because these blue truffles popped up instead of the regular Heartless.
I'm
Saves about
convinced
2
it's-
seconds.
I know people have different theories. Maybe people haven't thought about it a lot. But my theory is that because it doesn't have to like set all of the kind of triggers, all the spots where you can spawn Heartless, and instead just throw in a set number at the very beginning,
That makes sense.
that might be why it loads faster. Okay, so
here we are.
We didn't
He
get
is
the
trying to
insta
stun
stun,
us,
but we did stun him right after his move. I was a little slow on that combo, I guess. So he broke out. You need to parry that, and then hopefully get him right back in. Nope.
Yeah, it's a little random if you're able to instantly restun him or not.
Yeah, and he will constantly hit you.
You should be able to restun him right.
Yeah, he's just not gonna stun him. There we go. So he might never get knocked down, which is fine.
Which is rare.
Okay. Whatever.
Okay.
To note, I have died on this fight before.
As you can see, he actually got pretty close there. So it actually, I think what's good about that is we're going to point out that this game, you're not the walking Terminator, as I've heard people call Sora in beginner mode for the entire run. You actually, it slowly progresses, in my opinion, from like a beginner mode run to more like a standard mode run by the end, where things actually hit you pretty darn hard, and you are not dealing god damage to them. You're actually having to worry a lot more. Fights last a lot longer. So what's nice is it moves us past a lot of the terrible fights, just the terribly designed fights, like, in my opinion, Trickmaster, Clayton, Sabor, Pot Centipede, Tigerhead, where on higher difficulties, those fights, just because they're so long and they're so random, can be really, really balls. JHobz being able to kind of get through them with having to deal with less damage is, much nicer. Optimizing it, once again, is a completely different thing. But
all right, so I didn't get Chamber 3 skip, but if we got Riz still hanging out in the chat, I'm gonna move my donation to if I get Dice Reflect on Oogie.
Okay.
All right.
So Riz actually moved his as well.
Oh, to what? Hobbs Jump 2?
No, he's saying full air combos on Riku 2.
I'm gonna try, buddy. I've been trying so hard. I'm so bad at it.
These are like legit challenges. These are like some of the hardest things to execute.
Riz is so good at it because I think Riz is very good at mashing, and I am just terrible at it.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna do my best.
He's got a good thumb. He's got a good mechanical thumb.
I'm gonna do my best.
So at this point, it is actually faster. With this one, we need to go to Halloween Town, but it's actually faster for us to just warp to Monstro, get eaten by him, also grab a very important item while we're in here, and then warp out and spend. And effectively, we only have to do the last quarter of the gummy mission, something like that.
Yeah, it's a very short amount.
It's like a 30-second gummy mission we then have to do to finish going from Monstro to Halloween Town.
Yeah, so we're gonna. We just got stopped, by the way, from beating Parasite Cage 2.
That's cool.
You've skipped that text a million times and you didn't know you got it there.
What?
I shouldn't give you too much crap, but whatever. I was trying to go for a jump there, but I
can
walked.
give you crap. You can't even platform.
I walked too far into the water. Donald is now body blocking me. All right. So
really good platform.
I'm gonna grab this chest. This chest contains Water Gleam, which is another summon gem that I will explain later.
Yeah.
So it's very slow to swim, so you notice that I jump as high as possible before going in water all the time. Yeah. I'm just trying to get as much distance as I can. To note, it's also slow to be in the air. It's like you fall very slowly in this game, but it's almost certainly faster than swimming.
Sora might have some of the floatiest 3D platformer physics out of any.
Yeah, his terminal velocity is like a mile an hour.
It's the pants.
Yeah, probably.
He doesn't have the weights in them like Roxas does in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
Oh, shout outs to the pants I wore during RPG Limit Break last year.
You're welcome, buddy.
What's up, dude?
All right, so making our way to Halloween Town now.
It's another rough world.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most RNG-heavy worlds. There are some things that can straight up lose you 20 seconds that you have no control over. There are some things you have some control over that feel like you have no control over them. We'll get to each as they happen, but it's a very rough world, very RNG filled. And just to clear up in case we haven't gone over it yet, I'm sure you've heard it several times over the marathon, but RNG stands for Random Number Generator. It's basically just whenever there's anything in the run that's out of your control or that is just randomness in the run, effectively the PS3 just rolling a die. That is what we refer to as RNG.
Getting another power boost right here.
Yeah, the only power-up we'll grab in the run.
Right. The ATUs at the beginning of the game, again, they're still doing a lot of work right now, but it is actually still worth it because, again, the bosses are starting to catch up with you. You're not maxing out your damage right now, so that power-up is going to help you out throughout the run.
Yeah, one thing I haven't really touched on yet is whenever I'm entering any load zone in this game, almost any load zone, the camera angle that I am holding going into that loading zone will match my camera angle as I actually load into the area. So I'm manipulating my camera. As Spike said during his SM64 run yesterday, a lot of the game is actually worrying about your camera. I'm going to do a quick menu here.
Yeah, mainly the thing here is he is taking Jack's ethers and he's giving them to Sora. He's using the power-up as well to go ahead and get Sora that extra strength, and we're along our way. Again, ethers, magic is very important. Having MP or magic points is very important, so we're going to be using those ethers as we go.
But yeah, so I'm moving my camera in very specific ways in every single loading zone to try to give myself consistent camera angles. And what that means is I'm like moving my thumb from the square button to the right analog stick a lot. Basically, there are a few spots where it's kind of fixed for you, but if you're ever wondering like why the camera seems to be so bad in this game, well, blame yourself.
2 right here, 2 quick ones, roll back,
Back up
the
a
back
bit.
boost, and 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, and we're going to move forward, get some of these MP bubbles.
I think we got a couple there in the
that's
corner.
where draw helped that we put on earlier. Helps us pick those up a bit easier. Pause 3 frames early.
Yeah. Waste a second. It's great. So yeah, you'll also notice there one of the again, as important as your strength is in this game, he actually has the ray of light on, as opposed to having on. Oh wait, do you have the
No,
ray
I
of light?
don't.
You
No.
don't. I totally lied. You have
I
Brave
could,
Warrior
though.
White thing. I forget.
It's
Again,
potentially a
It's
strength.
me mixing up beginner and proud mode. But yeah, having this much MP, this is actually a mechanic we have not explained at all about this game. How powerful your magic is also based on just your max MP.
Yeah.
So if you have 4 compared to 5, your magic is going to be weaker. You know, just 4, it's 5 is going to be stronger than 4, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, we
So
only care
giving
about
yourself
those kind of
magic.
those break points where it means we have to use an extra magic.
Right.
But for the most part, more MP equals good.
Yeah.
Whoops, weird dodge roll.
So that was something else to think about, like back when he had in Deep Jungle where he had to fight the Power Wilds. It's not just he only has 2 MP to work with instead of 3. Also, those blizzards were just weaker. So,
Well, I had 3 MP. You're thinking crap.
right, I'm saying like
Yeah, if
him
it
having
worked
that
out.
instead by taking the staff route.
Yeah. All right, so this world is basically go to the graveyard 3 times. So we didn't get white mushrooms here, which is good because this is probably slightly faster. We're instead going to do something called Ghost Skip, found by the Mistmaster 1. We're going to jump on these tombstones
And perfect.
and roll and mash triangle in order to skip 4 Heartless from spawning and get to that exit before those last 2 spawn. I'm going to pay attention. That's 6, 5, 2.
6, 5, 2.
Yeah, I'm throwing an ether during that minigame because it's downtime anyways, and I want to have more MP for an upcoming fight.
So that's one of the 2 ethers he stole from Jack earlier.
Yeah. Now, ideally, I'll be saving that second ether for about 2 worlds from now.
Yeah.
In order to do another strat, but we'll see if I'm able to do that or not. Oop, get up there. Okay.
Good enough. Shooting that fire platform is actually, like, its hitbox is dumb. It'll just, like, get caught on something else. Like, it'll hit, like, the top of the platform or something. So he had to shoot it at kind of a specific angle.
So you notice there was a black mushroom sitting there, a black fungus. Hopefully it's not there when I come back.
Yeah, does
Because
that bode well? Do we know if that really means
No, it doesn't
anything?
matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
people are superstitious. But yeah, if the black fungus is there when I come back, I'm going to immediately leave and return.
Right.
Just like in Agrabah, it's just a waste of time to fight them. There actually is a strat that basically breaks even with leaving and returning that fights them, so you technically get more experience. I'm not too familiar with the strat because it doesn't actually save time. I haven't bothered learning it. And I feel like it's easier to mess that up than it is to mess up leaving and coming back. So.
Yeah, what's annoying about it, if it does happen, you'll see he's going to go into the graveyard here, and once again, he has to shoot the little platform with fire, which he's now going to be surrounded by Heartless, so he needs to make sure he hits the platform and not the Heartless that are going to be surrounding him with auto lock on. He has to then go back, he has to shoot it again to come back, and then shoot it again. So let's see right here.
Yep. All right, cool.
Okay, cool.
We heard the spawns, so we
got
know
lucky
we
there.
got the enemies. That's good.
Now, once again, he's only going to
Awesome.
kill these immediate Heartless right there, and then he's going to not touch any of the other areas in there because it would spawn even more Heartless.
Yeah, that was basically a perfect graveyard
Yeah.
fight. If I have to use more blizzards there, like if that fight lasts longer, I'll sometimes go and grab those MP bubbles dropped by the gargoyle. But because I have a healthy amount of MP, I didn't bother. I'm going to prep the stop magic in my command menu there, and then I'm going to go for
Hobbs Jump 2. Electric
Boogaloo. There you go, Riz. Okay. So this is a jump that saves 1 second that I found that nobody else does.
If I'm raffling, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we did it. Woo!
Now he needs to not fail the rest of it.
Okay.
This platforming can actually be pretty tricky. It's really easy to just like clip into little sides of these with Sora. But a lot of this we also just generally call community jumps. It used to be you had to kill a bunch of Heartless there at the bottom of that section in order to open up a door, and then you climb all around. It's all slow. Like 5 cool jumps we found right there. Just be like, no, we don't have to do any of this. Now for these idiots.
So,
These
hold on.
idiots are
What happens if
idiots.
you fall on that?
You lose a minute.
You lose a minute.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Saves 1 second though.
That was weird.
So
None of them
literally
stopped.
nothing stopped.
That was really odd.
All right. Stop, as you can see, is just obviously a good way to keep things that are annoying stopped. And then the damage will be dealt in a chunk afterwards.
All right, that was not a very
Kind of
good fight.
unfortunate. They can blow up like immediately. If they all three, I've seen where all three of them like jump into the initial stop, and then you just destroy them.
Yeah, it was very odd that none of them got
None
stopped.
of them. I would have thought at least Shock would have got.
Yeah, I could have locked onto one there to almost certainly guarantee to stop, but I tend to actually just jump into the middle and let auto target pick one.
hit that thing.
Yeah, because if I just kind of jump towards the middle, I can usually get more than one in a stop. Unfortunately, none of them got stopped there, which I have not.
I don't know
really
if I've ever seen that actually. So that was really bizarre.
Unlucky, not that big a deal. Hitting that switch unlocked this door here. If you ever forget, it sucks.
Yeah.
Everybody will
Riz
do it.
has done it a lot actually.
Everybody does it at least once. You just forget to hit the switch. You get all the way down there. You're like, why isn't the door open? Oh no.
Oh dear.
There
God.
is a way to climb back up rather than having to take this like a slow,
all the way back up
bathtub
and
and stuff.
around. Yeah.
You can jump on top of the door and climb back up, but I'm gonna work on.
All right, so Oogie, it's going to take 5 fires. He spawned 2 gargoyles. 5 fires will kill each of them.
All right, Oogie, go right.
So what he is doing here is he only... Oh, so he's got Donald here with him. That is not good. He can only deal 10 hits. Oh, he can maybe work his way through this. Okay, very nice. Okay, Donald didn't screw it up. It's actually not damage-based how much you can hit him each time. It's hit-based. He can only deal 10 hits. Now...
Not looking good.
Yeah, dude. All right. I'll donate $10 for Dice Reflect.
Yep.
And now we kept Donald and Goofy out. So if Donald and Goofy come up with you, you're an idiot. If Donald or Goofy come up with you, then they will hit him for no damage, and that will count as a hit. Very, very
That was a good fight. Okay.
Yeah,
The dice reflect was a bit slower than I would have liked, but when Oogie throws all 3 of the dice up like that, not only is it random which like pattern he'll throw them in, like how far apart they are from each other, how much they spread, but they also hurt you if you run into them. So my goal is usually to hit, well, first of all 3 out of the air if I can, but at least 1 or 2 out of the air, and then try to chase down the other one, the remaining die or dice. Having to chase down 2 was not ideal at all. I'm really glad it actually worked
I was
out.
surprised you were able to get there, because then they also spread out.
Yeah, they spread out, and they have very large hitboxes, very unreasonable hitboxes, I'll say.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of like really understand how the dice will hit you. This is platforming the boss, which
Platforming the boss.
should mean I love it, but okay.
Speedrun noises.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Each of these orbs should take 5 hits apiece. And again, at this point, it's not so much danger he's worrying about, it's just platforming around this boss. Once again, air combos are just faster. And with Hurricane Blast, which is a final mix or a Cage 1.5 exclusive, for anyone who's not familiar with that if you've only played Cage 1. It's just a good aerial attack.
Oh, okay, I was worried about that.
There's the back boost. All right.
All right, we're going to go for miss jump
Go
here.
for miss jump, and you got it.
We got it. Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, you could tell. You're the whole way out. Even before you jumped, I knew you had it.
Nice. That was not bad. That beginning was a little unfortunate, but overall, not too bad.
I like the shotgun swag at the end.
I like to do that because occasionally you'll get a really good rumble because I play
Oh,
with vibration on. You'll get one right as it's fading out, and it lasts like 20 seconds.
I'm sure you use that for good things.
Had to take it there. Had to take it there.
You're the one that said it. Like
we said nothing.
Yeah.
We said it as it's good. We're just like a good rumble, dude. Anyways, so that was a good Halloween town. The only thing, I mean, Lock, Shock, and Barrel was not ideal, but like pretty much everything else went right at where you want it
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, it was not bad at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
opening graveyard fight was good. You got graveyard skip. You got no
Black
black
Fungus.
fungus. You got electric boogie-loo. Boogie died fast, and Boogie 2 died fast. So
yeah, that one probably could have gone a bit better. But yeah, overall not bad. I didn't get too trolled by Halloween Town. So obviously that means we're going to get trolled by Neverland.
Yep.
Yeah, Captain
well, we're
Hook.
not even going to get to Neverland.
Yeah. So there is a very, very
Yo, it's in the run, dude. All right.
there is a very unfortunate mechanic in this game where, remember how I said earlier that you only have to complete 2 out of the 3 worlds of Monstro, Halloween Town, and Atlantica?
Right.
Well, the reason we only have to complete 2 of them is because if we only complete 2 of them, Captain Hook's ship, which is Neverland, has a 70% chance of showing up. If you complete all 3, it has a 100% chance of showing up.
So
Because it's 70%, it means it's just up to the gods of whether we're going to get it first try or not. Getting it second try loses us about 55 seconds.
Yep.
So it's really unfortunate. It's as much time as JP saves, if not more. And it's completely random. So that's why no run of this game is ever you can
don't
never
get
be
passionate
attached.
about it,
Yeah, you can never be attached to any run of this game until at least Hook ship.
real quick donation.
Absolutely.
We have a $20 donation. Pity donation for JHobz missing the chamber skip. Great run still though, so keep it up from Try Courage, who also, by the way, did a fantastic run of Splatoon yesterday. I highly recommend when this is done, load up the VOD, go check that out because it was pretty damn awesome.
Thank you for the donation.
yeah, dude. Thank you, Try Courage. All right, so we're coming up on the point. We're about to find out if we got it or not. We'll know if there's a
Here we
fake
go.
or not. Here it is, right here.
We yeah.
It was. I for some reason I thought it was supposed to fan out like a half second earlier. I went no.
No.
All right,
right.
so we're 2-0 in major marathons for this.
So in
trip.
other words,
Okay.
Limit Break's got about
Yeah, Limit Break
screwed.
is
You'll
screwed.
get chamber 3 skip.
Everything's been okay this run, so we're just like I'm done over there.
Limit Break's gonna suck. So yeah, once again, that was a 70% chance. I believe the record is someone has missed it like I've missed
7
it 3 in a
times,
row.
I think
like
Toji missed it. Like
Toji
7
missed it.
times.
It would of course be Toji.
I know.
This is 7 in
I
a
know my
row.
boy Skits from the Ratchet and Clank community has missed it 5 times, and he just started running this like a month ago.
If you miss it, you go straight to Atlantica, and then at that point you can go from Atlantica and you just go backwards, and you just go until you'll know where it's supposed to fade out. Every miss afterwards loses about 20 seconds?
20 or 30, something
20
like
or 30,
that.
somewhere in there, so it still sucks.
Yeah,
So
so
then
it's,
you can quit out and just keep redoing the mission until it pops
yeah,
up.
it could. It's just completely random on whether it'll show up or not. So it could.
Theoretically could never
saw
show
his
up.
face.
What's the record again on that?
7.
Something like that. Yeah, I think. we
So
think
break
it's
down the
7.
percentages when it's a 70% chance of popping up. It's pretty nuts.
All right, we'll walk through that door in the black there, which is pretty nice.
Little thing. So there's actually,
Yeah,
I
okay.
love this segment
Hard
because
to
there's
something.
three pieces of movement tech in these 3 rooms. Right there, he dodge rolls in a very specific way to fall in there without grabbing the ledge. And then here, he's going to try to jump up.
Oh man, I'm no good at it. I used to be good at it.
It's kind of rough when
There
this
we
idiot. All right. You can basically just hit the very bottom of that loading zone and just skip having
Yeah.
to. Climbing ladders is really slow in this.
Ladder skip, biz jump. We have bad names. It's fine.
It's
bad. So we're coming up on the second worst fight in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a good candidate.
Yeah, Anti-Sora. Anti-Sora is a very rough fight. Basically, we're going to do some very specific hits at the beginning. He can do one of 3 things at the beginning of the fight that is completely out of our control which one he does. And if we're unlucky, then he'll waste a bunch of time. After that, we're going to do some very specific combos to try to get him to kind of explode. After he explodes, we have to try to constantly keep him looped by hitting him on a very, very frame precise window. I don't know what the frame window is on it, but I'm going to ask for a little bit of quiet time here. Okay, so then we got worst RNG at the beginning. Good start. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Goofy, don't screw it up. What the?
Yeah. The only thing I'm going to note here is that Goofy and Donald absolutely are terrible in this fight, and the terrain is terrible.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, kill them. So him being on the couch here is awful. I'm trying to get him into this corner. All right, it's better. It wouldn't let me lock on, man.
Aww.
So there's something weird in this game where it like won't let you lock on him sometimes, and I find it very hard to hit him if I can't lock on him. So. I went for it.
Oh, I thought you were just going to go for the fire spam.
All right,
there we go. There we go. That was.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's just a rough fight.
Yeah,
As you said, like you go over the trifecta of bad things to happen in a Kingdom Hearts fight. That has it all. It has bad terrain. You can go invincible all the time. Your teammates are terrible and they are doing everything.
Hold
they
up
can
one
to screw
second.
it up.
Hold up 1 second. All right, not the best menu, but not
That
bad.
is the most complicated menu
Yeah.
in this run by far.
Yeah, basically.
And it's in a language he doesn't read, by the way. So-
Yeah.
On top of that, are the menus in Japanese any better than the ones in English, or do they still lag on this?
Oh
version
yeah,
as
no,
well?
they still have. You
they're
have to
laggy
worry
balls.
about the inputs and stuff. Yeah, it's very weird. I have tried to optimize that menu as much as I can to use L1 and R1 inputs to skip through major sections.
Yeah,
of
it'll
the
skip you down
menu.
like pages and stuff.
But it's a very difficult menu. Basically, I took off some of Peter's MP using abilities, so that way, and I customized him to use his MP items constantly. So that way, hopefully, he'll give me both of his ethers or all 3 of his ethers very quickly in the Captain Hook fight. I also put on Cheer, which is a summon boosting ability on Goofy, which makes it so that Simba here is going to take out a lot of Heartless here very easily.
Pay attention to the end of Sora's Keyblade here. Every tick it goes determines how strong Simba's roar is. Sora here wants to go 1, 2, 3 release. Now he's going to go full 4. Again, the maximum this will go to is also based off of your max MP. As you can see,
And
it
Cheer.
sort of matches. Yeah, and Cheer.
Now going to dismiss him because he has a little bit left over. See if we can break a piece. No, he's going to be a jerk. Yeah. All right,
Just
so
kinda go,
this ship can just fly around and charge like that, waste time. But
I always see him waste time. So we talked about Stop is one of the 2 best magic abilities in the game. This is one of the fights where we should showcase that. I'm going to count for JHobz here so we can focus.
I also customized Stop.
Yes. 1, 2, 3. Peter threw an ether, that's good. 4, he threw another ether, that's good.
Okay, good. I want the
5.
ship here because it gives me more MP and it gets it out of the way. Oops. Okay.
I'm going to say 6, 7, 8. You need to poke him.
Die! Die!
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
All right, that was still okay.
It got a little
Still
off
not
because he
bad.
missed a finisher at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's you always want to do a bit of extra damage at the end there
Anyways,
anyways.
yeah.
Like I could have done an extra stop for safety, but you can usually just get enough damage in before that last one dies to where you can finish him off. I happened to get hit immediately after his stop ended, which is
Right.
why I wasn't able to do
Yeah.
that last bit of damage.
He actually jumped in the proper place. The ship came to a
Yes.
proper place for him, so it was all kind of set up. Just a little bit of unfortunate slop right at the end.
Yeah,
but
so
still.
you might think I want that battleship to stay away from us, but it can shoot missiles as well as charge at us.
Yeah.
So I'd rather it actually come right next to us because unlike Hook, who is somewhat resistant to stop as all bosses are, the battleship is not, as far as I can tell, and so he'll always stay stopped. He will stay stopped much longer. And if he's nearby, not only will my combos less likely to whiff, but they'll also give me more MP if I hit the battleship and Hook. So it just kind of is a little extra safety to guarantee that the battleship is not in your way and you're having enough MP to keep Hook stopped.
I'm also going to throw another $5 down donation after the run because you beat the clock boss. 3 for
Second
3
hardest
on
boss
hits.
in the game.
Yep. So,
Right behind Waterfall Cavern.
And also right there, right before you saw he picked up an item there, that is the Flare G.
Yeah.
And that is something else that is just going to allow him to move through gummy missions faster. He's actually not going to equip it until a later gummy mission, and we'll talk about that, I guess, when we get there.
Yeah, I mean, basically opening the gummy menu takes a long time. And,
and
so
it doesn't save
consolidate.
enough time because we're going to be getting another gummy piece later on. We'd rather consolidate that to one gummy menu. That will overall save us about 7 seconds.
Yes. Here we're going to put on Fairy Harp, the Ars Arcanum ability, Guard, and Glide.
Fairy Harp, Ars Glide?
Yep.
You'll notice we never use the pumpkin head there. One thing, the pumpkin head is the longest keyblade ever, which you would think is a good thing in this game. It's terrible because it clanks on everything. And because, once again, since we're so maxed out on damage, Anti-Sora, it would have made no difference. Hook, it makes no difference. The only thing it would have changed was the airship we had to fight before Hook. We would have had to hit it one less time. One single hit less.
And it just clanks all over the place. It's not worth it.
So we just completely skip that and go straight to the Fairy Harp.
Yeah, and the Fairy Harp we're going to keep on for a while because it actually gives us 1 MP,
Yeah.
which is really useful. We're going to land in Merlin's here, which is why I touched the save earlier. So that way we can go talk to Fairy Godmother. That chest we opened with the Water Gleam in it in Monstro actually allows us to get the Dumbo summon ability. Dumbo does something a little special. We're not actually going to use him for any combat purposes, but we'll go ahead and see what he does a little bit later. Now, the other thing that we have to do while we're here in Traverse Town is we have to finish off the opposite armor boss, which a lot of you might have noticed if you played this game casually that we didn't do before. It turns out that you don't have to do that boss right away, and if we wait all the way until now to do it, which is the last possible moment where we are now required to do it, we're just so much stronger that we are doing complete maximum damage to him, and don't really have to worry about the fight going too poorly. It's still pretty bad. But
I don't remember also another little cute piece of platforming here. This one was found by Bloody, I want to say.
I think so. I don't actually know for certain.
Sounds right. But yeah, I don't know the exact levels JHobz has right now because I'm not as familiar with beginner mode, but to compare on Proud mode, we would have been level 13 earlier, and now we would be level 33. So it's like a 20 level difference. So, and it's probably something similar to that here on beginner.
Ladders are hard.
Yo, sick camera. All right, so here he's going to line himself up and use that limit move he just equipped ours. It's still going to be random.
Got a bad spread. Might be okay. All right.
Okay, that was fine.
We made it work. So you can actually just kill all of them instantly with Ars Arcanum if you get lucky. Those enemies move around very wildly, very rampantly, and completely randomly. So we use Ars Arcanum because it swings the Keyblade around so quickly and also equally wildly that we can go ahead and kind of clear out a lot of them. They all die in one physical attack because we're so overleveled right now.
Yeah.
Now, ring the bell 3 times, and we can go fight opposite armor.
Technically, we're going to go fight guard armor again real quick.
Yeah.
Which actually, you think it's just a throwaway fight. There actually is a
gonna
piece
mess
of
it up.
tech to
I'm
it.
going to mess it up.
You're going to miss it.
I never get it. No, I do, but I'm going to mess it up.
For whatever reason, if you just break one of the
Hey, you
pieces,
learned
if
it.
you deplete, I figured it out. If you deplete the health of one of the pieces, nice,
Hey!
then that will knock him down.
I immediately throw that ether that we saved from Halloween Town after that fight because I want to use 2 Ars Arcanums during this next fight if possible, and each costs 3 MP.
So he's going to time the guard, and then immediately go into ours to blow up
Break
one
the
of them.
piece. We're going to do as much damage as we can to this piece.
And now he's going to...
he's going to walk around
hopefully-
randomly.
Yeah, that's random, unfortunately. Going to do it again. And use another R's to break that piece. All right, 3 pieces down. Okay.
Oh, I was hoping to parry that.
This boss is secretly very, very annoying in a speed run because he can just move around. And
Okay, that was not bad. That was not bad at
That
all.
was not bad. Yeah, it's hard to have a really... And as soon as the screen starts melting, you can start
For whatever reason.
skipping the cutscene.
They just messed that one up.
Yeah. There's lots of, like, Kingdom Hearts 2 cutscene skips make complete sense all over the place. There's never, like, randomness to it. It's just, it has a few seconds of delay, and then you can skip it. Kingdom Hearts 1.5, it is all over the damn place. So.
All right, we're going to talk to Sid here. He's going to go ahead and install the navigational gummies that we've been, or national navigational gummy, I think, that will get us to Hollow Bastion. Ghoul, do you have anything for us at the moment, or no? I'm going to go with no.
Oh, yeah. He's got the mic off and everything. Yeah.
If you wanted to say anything, otherwise we can keep talking.
No, keep going. Have fun.
Love to hear my own voice.
All right.
So
loud.
We've got a few cutscenes here. These are incredibly long in the PS2 versions.
Yeah.
And very frustrating.
It's even long just to get to skip that one.
Yeah.
I always felt like
all three of them, they have very
just
long
time
times.
to load them in. Yep.
But yeah, that opposite armor fight actually went pretty well. Once he's down to just the feet hands, as I like to call them, and the main body and head, he turns into a cannon form. And every shot he takes with that cannon, in between, he'll go like fly anywhere in the entire district. So he can go down an alleyway. He can just barely move. It's really awful, and that fight can waste a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky that he was staying so close to me.
Doing that opposite armor, the main reason why you would have done that fight earlier on was actually to get access to the arrow ability. Arrow is an ability that you can put up, and it basically gives you double defense while it's up.
Yeah, so we actually now have all the magic we're going to use in the game. We'll get some upgrades, but this is all the magic we really care about.
Right. Having arrow up, since we're only going to get its base, just arrow ability, the other ones you get from, I believe, Saving Dalmatians and from Hook's ship. I believe
a chest.
A chest in
you
Hook's
need
ship.
the Yellow Trinity, though, which requires an Olympus Plus.
Yeah. Beginning, it will now only be active for, I think, it's like 15 seconds, maybe a little more than that.
I'm not sure.
Maybe it's more like 20.
I know, I got like a feel for it.
Right.
I know how many combos
It's also applied to your MP. Once again, your max MP determines it by, for every extra MP, I believe you get 1 more second of arrow. So that's just stuff I've heard. I don't know about. Important to note here, so it's fastest for him to just warp to Neverland and then fly from there. In older runs of this game, if you had been slower, then you would have gotten to Neverland during the 2-hour mark of the run, where the in-game timer is at 2 hours, at which point he could have gone into the clock tower and picked up a power-up.
Yeah. To note, we've since learned that power-up is probably useless.
It's probably in beginner it doesn't matter.
Again, as we mentioned before, your damage is scaled back once you're too over-leveled, where your strength is too high. So using that power-up, we wouldn't even land there anyways, even if we were there in time, or too late for it.
There are power-ups that pop up at the 2-hour mark and the 4-hour mark. Every in-game hour mark up to 12 o'clock. And I believe it rolls over after that, just like... Yeah, otherwise you would never get the 1 o'clock. Or I guess you would. Well, it doesn't matter. Every in-game clock, there will be a different item there. We were able to make use of the power boost that is there, but only barely. Like, the world record in this game on Proud Mode gets there, with maybe 10 seconds over the 2-hour mark. I don't know. Zetris has pushed it down for even further since then, so I don't know. Maybe that's not even a thing yet for anyone.
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyways, we've talked enough BS. Here we are in Hollow Bastion. This is where, I think for a lot of people casually, this is where I fell in love with this series.
This is where the game begins. The beginning here for the speed run, we're actually going to be doing, and casually, we're going to be doing a little bit of a puzzle section, which can be a bit confusing casually and stuff. For the speed run, it's kind of just a little bit boring. Right. Going to be completely honest there.
Yeah.
But
just
we do
sit
get some
back
cool
and enjoy
platforming beforehand. We get a little bit of cool platforming here in Rising Falls. The note that there's a platform back there that's actually already moving. You can see it back there behind the logo. It does move on a global cycle based on when you land here. And because this is a text cutscene, it's always in the same place. If we could skip this cutscene, it would be different. But it means that as long as I do all my movement properly, I'm going to have to wait a fraction of a second, or not a fraction of a second. I'm going to have to wait a couple seconds. And what I like to do is prep my command menu to gravity there while I'm waiting, and then that lets me
effectively have a fourth hotkey.
Yeah, exactly. So you can use magic in this game via customizations by holding L1 down and pressing triangle, square, or circle, or by using it directly from your command menu. And if I prep, and this is the way all menus work in this game, including the start menu.
Items, magic,
If you move your cursor to a location in the menu, the game will remember that for eternity. It will remember that until you like reset the game, until you return to the main menu. So if I, or in the case of the command menu, until you leave the world or die. So now that I've set it to gravity there, it's going to stay on gravity for this entire world, unless I die.
Yeah, that's it. If you die, I swear.
Just like, if I'm about to die to Riku 1, just like yell at me.
I'm just going to scream. Yeah.
Yeah, we are getting to the point, though, where dying is a more realistic possibility.
It's completely viable, honestly, at this point in the game. Especially considering he's going to be going out. He has no potions or anything to heal himself with. He only has Cure. And even then, his MP is very important. If he does bail and use a Cure, like in the next fight with Riku, then all of a sudden that's probably going to cost him an Ars Arcanum in the fight.
So we lost our Keyblade in that last cutscene, which means that we are basically powerless. Our physical hits don't do anything. They actually did do something in KH1 that did like a little bit of chip damage.
Oh, it actually doesn't do anything here?
But it does nothing in Final Mix. Yeah,
I should know that.
You actually do no damage.
I've never tried to hit it with it.
Yeah,
so
they didn't want people just sitting there and whacking away at stuff.
They're like, hey, idiot, use magic.
So, yeah, even though we have the wooden sword, we can still use magic. So we're going to use a gravity up on a defender coming up here. And then we're going to mash triangle to call for Beast's help, to have Beast attack that defender and finish him off. As we mentioned, gravity does percentage health damage based on current health. And so we want to make sure our gravity lands first while the defender is still at full health. Otherwise, we might need a second gravity or might need Beast to do more damage.
Pay attention to how far away he is. If he's any closer than that, if he spams triangle, there's a decent chance that the prompt for R's will pop up, and then he'll use R's instead, which will again do no damage and waste 3 MP.
The reason I jumped there, actually, I've had that happen too many times, so I actually jump backwards and I mash triangle while I'm in the air.
Right. Because then R's prompt can only be up while you're on the ground.
Exactly. Yeah, so now we're just going backwards through this puzzle. See a Beast. Just going to leave him trapped over there.
Yeah, this going backwards through the puzzle is always what kind of tripped me up as a kid.
We don't need him anymore.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, so we're going to go backwards through the puzzle. We're going to head up to the Palace Gates, where we can go fight our buddy Riku. We haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. Because we've been skipping cutscenes, we literally haven't seen him for a while.
To note, I could touch that save point to get the 1 MP back that I got, or that I used for gravity, but I'm only going to get to use 2 Ars Arcanums in this next fight without an Ether, no matter what, so there's no point. If I had used 2 gravities, I would have gone and touched on the save, which would have cost me just a couple seconds.
Once again, we're dodge rolling in the corner just so the Dark Balls lose interest and they despawn and we get our blue command menu back.
Yep. Sometimes one will follow you. It's
not 100% consistent. It's a lot of ways like what this game tried to do. Like if you play KH2, they just throw you into a lot of just straight up forced fights. Whereas in KH1, the way they tried to make you effectively have your forced mob encounters were just by that. Like, oh, okay, well, I can't progress until I get my blue menu back, so I have to kill everything on the screen. Yeah. But we have found lots of ways, and you get plenty of experience from boss fights to where mob experience almost doesn't matter in this game.
Yeah. We're going to, at the beginning of this fight, dodge roll towards a little kind of pedestal type thing that has a pot on it to try to get Riku to kind of find his way into a corner. There aren't really many corners in this room, so we're going to do our best to try to like trip him up a little bit and keep him somewhere where Goofy can potentially reflect him. This fight is almost entirely on Goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy can deflect everything that Riku does, and so we're going to hope that he deflects stuff. So I'm going to hit him once to make him do his ballerina twirl, and then use an Ars Arcanum on him. I got to let him do that. Okay. Oh, I got hit by it. All right, so now I got to wait for him to land. Hit him once. So he actually will counter every 3 hits. See, right there?
You're lowish on
yeah. Donald should have healed me there, but I do not trust him anymore. So. All right, this fight went kind of bad. It's much easier if you have an Ether because Ars Arcanum really helps a lot in this fight. And Goofy deflecting him would have been helpful, but Goofy kind of ran away right at the beginning of the fight for some reason.
Right, so.
I don't know. He was really interested in the pot in the corner. So
I need this from a living room.
yeah.
Right.
So we didn't really get a chance to have a good fight there, unfortunately. I think I handled it okay though, so I'm not like too unhappy about that.
It's sadly one of those. The Kingdom Hearts community has done an amazing amount of work on this game, and they've been able to take fights that were absolute crap, and they've been able to get them to really cool, consistent strats. You're going to see some pretty cool fights coming up here later on in this world. Riku 1's just one of those, in my opinion, that is just on any difficulty has always stayed just a pretty poopy fight.
Yeah, the only fight I find strats for this game for difficulties I don't run, for categories I don't run. In Proud mode, until recently, we had a really good loop for him. Well, not even really good. It was just an okay loop.
Why is it not the thing anymore? I actually don't know.
I think it still can be, actually. I don't know.
If I went back, that's still what I would try to use.
I think it is. I'm not sure.
But effectively, it's abusing... Again, because Riku will auto-counter you every third hit, which is why that fight is pretty butts. Because that's just so many times. You can't really ever get any momentum on him. You actually manipulate it to where you hit him twice, and then you go away, and then your third hit will be a sliding dash, I believe is what it is.
Yeah, let's not worry about it too much. It is Proud mode.
It is Proud
Basically,
mode.
there's a loop in Proud mode, which
I
found.
JHobz, I was trying to bring it up, just because I found it. But yeah, he found a loop where you can manipulate what that third hit is to get a clank and then go into more combos.
But to talk about what we're doing right now, we're kind of, again, solving a puzzle a little bit. We're kind of doing these like feats of like strength and magic or something. I don't know. We're kind of showing off what we've done. The last thing I'm going to do here, though, is I'm going to light these candles and try to go for something called Liquid Glide that I recently think I made consistent. So.
Uh-oh.
All right, we warp back to the bottom. So my jump, I must have tried to do too early. So my second X button that would have normally been my glide actually turned into my jump. And what I was trying to do there is during that cutscene, I was trying to glide across to the middle. It used to be seen as like a never go for this kind of thing. It probably still is now.
Sure.
I found a consistent setup for it. I just hit X a little bit too early there, probably similar to the Chamber 3 skip thing. I assume that's what I did anyways. So we're going to get that.
That did cost him about 30 seconds there, probably.
Yeah. It's a really rough thing to go for. I don't really go for it in like PB attempts and stuff, but I like to show off stuff in marathons.
It's also especially difficult because he's playing on an unfamiliar monitor as well, so the delay might be a bit different. There's a lot of little factors that be going
I'm honestly wondering if the fact that this is like pretty much a lagless monitor is the reason I messed those two things up.
Sure.
Because they're both reaction time based, and I like normally play on a different on an HD TV. So I probably got screwed by this being amazing.
Thank you for your amazing piece of technology.
Yeah.
It's something that we don't talk about a lot, but people forget that, when you're speedrunning, and I'm not trying to just defend JHobz here, but more just talk about speedrunning and marathons in general, you're not in your chair, in your house, in your living room, with your air conditioning on your TV. It's just, everything's different. It throws you off that you're not looking at your chat right there. It's a lot of extra factors.
Yeah, I was going to say, I even remember, when Spike did his Rayman Legends run at SGDQ, that TV... There was the one level where you were going into watermelons, and the background was so bad, the reds just bled into each other.
It just looked like ketchup. That's all it looked like. It's just
seriously trying to find these holes in this red blobs, where you're supposed to go through. It was amazing.
So we just
got another despawn right there.
Yeah, we just despawned that wyvern, or those wyverns rather, plural. In order to go over to where that chest is and grab our last gummy piece, which is a haste 2G. Yes. Because they have very creative names in this game. So what it is, it's just another acceleration gummy like the one that we already have, but it is more powerful. So after we leave Hall of Bastion, we're going to do another gummy menu, and we're going to put on that Flare G from earlier and the Haste 2G. So we'll talk more about that when it comes. Right now, we've got an elevator fight. 3 wizards are going to spawn here. Wizards are basically immune to magic. I don't actually know if they fully are. But I usually try to let Goofy and Donald take one of them out, which is a dumb idea. Don't do this. I learned it from Mist. Thanks a lot, Mist. I try to get them to take one out while I take the other 2 out, because if I'm lucky enough... Oh, they did. They actually took them out.
Good job,
Yeah, they took him out. Cool. I could tell from the level up. So, yeah, sweet. So they take him out. I only have to take out 2 of them. They die to 1 combo each. We look at the bubbles. as they sail away.
Nice and visible.
But yeah, so that's we got lucky. Them like just being able to take them out. I prepped my summon menu to be on Dumbo right now. The reason we got Dumbo earlier is for probably the only like legitimate sequence breaks in this game, and they don't even break any kind of like large cutscene or anything like that. They literally just skip us from going around and doing a fight.
Yeah.
But when we're on Dumbo, you can actually rise up and down in the air, kind of like the Neverland controls. And then when you dismiss Dumbo, you actually do a little flip up as you dismount. We use that little flip up to get just enough height to be able to grab a few different ledges. And the first one, which is going to be coming up right up here, if I miss this, I'm going to go for it again.
Yeah.
But you can either end up underneath the ledge or too far away from the ledge and very easily miss this. So I'm going to do my best not to do either of those things. You can also be hit by an enemy. So I have to be as fast as possible while also making sure I'm as precise as possible. It's always scary.
So let's see if we get some here.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay. See, I got hit immediately after.
Also, notice how much damage that hit did on this beginner mode easy run where, oh, yeah, nothing hits you that hard. Oh, bam.
Heal me. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we have basically the enemies have caught up with us.
Yeah.
This is basically a standard mode difficulty now.
Donald won't heal me if I'm not in a fight, and so I actually, instead of running immediately to the loading zone there, I jumped and like just kind of wanted to hover around in the area to try to let Donald heal me so I could save my MP. It's not a big deal, but I'm going to use like all of my MP in this next fight. So,
yeah. So here's Maleficent. Maleficent sucks. If you ever stagger her, she will run away effectively. So we do not want to stagger her. We do not want to finish our combos. First thing is get up here. As you can see, not finished combos go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not using the 7th hit there. Now he's just going to do 3-hit air combos because technically his finisher is the 4th. And the finishers are what's going to actually stagger her. Gets her to that attack range or health range and dead. Nice. Very good fight.
If that fight goes, but that's one of the most consistent fights in beginner, to be fair.
Yeah.
But in proud mode, that fight is rough. If you mess up one tiny thing in it, she'll fly away. She'll summon meteors. You'll probably die. So now we're coming into
one of the craziest fights in the entire.
Yeah, the fight that got me hooked into running this game.
Yeah.
Dragon Maleficent. A lot of people remember this one and the next boss as being incredibly difficult casually. They're still difficult now, but for a different reason.
All this fight was for me was throw up arrow and just attack away and just pray that I don't die.
Basically, people don't use magic enough in this game, and I'm gonna let that speak for itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna say nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna let that speak for itself, and I'm gonna do a little bit of quiet time. Cool, got 2 hits. That's good. Ooh, okay, good job. Jumps!
That's the other Mega Elixir you just picked up.
Yep, alright, I thought so. So, she's going to summon some fireballs. You should be able to skip that. I had a couple times where I didn't jump. I was trying to and didn't jump, so unfortunate. Now I get hit by these and things get really bad.
Got enough for
I have to heal. I want to play it safe.
He's right about there. She's going to do this crazy thing. Very nice. Okay.
That was unfortunate. That fight is pretty consistent. The only random part of it is how much damage Donald and Goofy will do. But it's also a very difficult fight. You have to be very fast with your combos in order to get all 4 parts of the first combo and an additional hit and stop before you land on the ground. Oops. So I had one combo where I didn't quite make it off the ground and thus used a stop on the ground, and using your magic on the ground as opposed to in the air, similar to your combos, is much slower. So it just kind of led to that snowballing, unfortunately.
If you want to get into speedrunning this game, or you just are into watching it, one thing you have to understand is that your mashing is actually very important to getting really competitive times in this game. I'm not a great masher, and it honestly holds me back from being like a great runner of this game. Because, yeah, being able to mash out that many hits, I probably couldn't even get in that extra hit. But now we are in that same theme. Here we are in Riku 2, where, once again, this is a very difficult fight casually. I'm going to let the fight speak for itself.
Riz, I'm going to try to make you proud. To note, Riku, instead of having a 3-hit auto counter now, has a 4-hit auto counter. And you'll see why that's pretty important in a little bit here. We're going to use some Ars Arcanums at the beginning, and then we're going to try to loop him after that. Ars load? Okay. Ars Arcanum can take a while to load sometimes, especially in Japanese.
Again, he's giving those single hits right there just to bait out that little ballerina attack. This is going to put him under 1.5 bars. Now he needs to get, he wanted to look for that attack.
I'm so bad at mashing this.
Getting 4 hits off on this midget is really hard. Mashing that out is extremely difficult.
All right.
There you go. That was actually...
I'll take the good
Take that
Riku
in a
2
marathon
fight.
run, dude.
I'll take the good Riku 2 fight over, like, with the bad dragon.
I'll throw another $10 on for that fight. That was pretty solid.
I got a couple of the full auto, or the full air combos there. But, yeah, it's basically, there is a very, very small window, similar to Anti-Sora, actually, where if you hit Riku after he does that auto counter move, after he does that ballerina twirl, he will be staggered again instead of going into another attack. However, that frame, the little frame window, is not immediately after he does the move, the counter attack. It's actually a little bit delayed. So what I do during that fight is after he does the counter, I hold a direction and I wait for Sora's foot to like twinge. I wait for his foot to move and then I jump and start doing the combo. He's also very short, like Spike said, which means his hitbox is very low to the ground and very small. So I have to delay my second attack in an air combo in order to not completely swing over his head.
Yeah.
So all of that makes it a very difficult fight, and if you want to make it more guaranteed, you can do ground combos.
That's what I do. Yep.
But they're a lot slower. So
it wastes
air
like
combos
12
are
seconds. So
yeah, my I just saved like 30 seconds on my PB, by the way. So yeah. All right, I'm glad that one at least went pretty.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Hollow Bastion 1. I mean, this is where a lot of speed runs. I would almost say this is the biggest world in terms of what your time is going to be. I mean, definitely like End of the World can affect it for sure as well, and the other worlds as well. But I feel like Hollow Bastion 1 is just full of, you got the Dumbo skip.
We have the most important cutscene skip
right.
in the game right here. Everybody hold your breath. Bonkless.
Yo! All right. I'll throw another $5 on for Bonkless, dude. Puts me to 30. Oh my gosh. That's actually hard to get, by the way.
So cutscene skips in this game are like kind of difficult. Like Spike said, you kind of just need to know when you can skip every single cutscene in the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of a joke. Like I would have lost a half a second if I skipped that late.
Right.
But I don't like Donald to hit Sora with his staff, man.
Yeah.
Like Donald's a dick.
You basically...
So I like to make sure that instead we get Bonkless. And Bonkless bless the run, so...
There's not really a good visual cue for it. That one, when it's just fading in like that, you just have to have a feel for when you...
Yeah, I do it when I see Donald start to raise his staff. I'm like, no.
Oh, I can't do it off that. I literally just need to know, like, there's about... All right, we're about 14 seconds into this 15-second black screen. This is our fourth and final trip to Traverse.
All we're going to do now is we're going to go get a navigational gummy, in other words, coordinates, back to Hollow Bastion. And we're going to get Oathkeeper, which we're going to equip almost immediately. So with that being said, Ghoul, if you want to go ahead with any donations or plugs, or remind everybody that we need to get to 1,000 by the end of this run.
Spike might get us there by himself at this
At this rate.
So yeah, once again, we are raising money for a very good cause. It's for Cook's Children's Medical Center in Dallas. It's a local children's hospital that does some absolutely fantastic work. I've had multiple people recommend them to me when I was looking for a charity to do this for. It's really hard to argue with doing stuff for some kids. Any little bit you guys want to throw at us helps. $1, $2, $5. It all makes a difference. It all gets us closer to that goal. So please, when you get a chance, head over to the link in chat, and yeah, right back to y'all.
Cool. So basically, we're just going to head straight back to Sid after this. Kind of the motto of Traverse Town is go talk to Sid, go do something, go talk to Sid again.
And you just got your final Keyblade for the game that we're going to be using. It used to be that we would actually, here coming up in Hollow Bastion 2, we would have achieved the Divine Rose Keyblade that you get from Bell, which got a huge... It got beefed up quite a bit from its original version in KH1 when you went to Final Mix. However, as it turns out, because of damage scaling and because of just changing a few strats here and there, you got to use a little bit more magic in a few places. For example, we found out that Oathkeeper is breaking even. And this was found maybe about a year and a half ago that we switched over to Oathkeeper.
Yeah, Zetris and I just started doing runs where, like, Zetris and I started doing runs where we were just like, I don't feel like getting Divine Rose. So we would just use Oathkeeper, or we'd go get Oblivion for fun.
Sure.
And it led to realizing, wow, we're not doing any more damage with Divine Rose against any of the bosses. To note that damage scaling we've been talking about the whole time does not apply to regular Heartless. We actually will continue to scale up to where you can kill like any Heartless in just 2 attacks.
Right.
But to the bosses, the damage scaling does apply. So Divine Rose, with it comes an unskippable cutscene, and because of that, we wanted to find a way to stop getting it, and our friend Dumbo kind of helped out with that. So.
Overall, the trip to go get it, I believe, is close to a minute. So.
Something like that. Yeah, 40 seconds a minute, something like that.
Yeah, so the fact that we can skip that is obviously important. And here he is, third and final gummy menu of the game. We're going to throw on the Haste 2G. Oh, fourth.
Yeah. Fourth?
Third.
You're right,
yeah,
you're
because
right.
it's the Flare and the Haste 2 at the same time.
Yeah, my bad.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to have the Haste and the Haste 2G. Nice.
Yeah. Our ship's lopsided, I don't care.
Our ship. This makes no sense that this is going to move through space, but it's fine. All right. So I would just like to congratulate myself on my original contribution to KH1 speedrunning. Not this, but... So right here, the game's... within the story of the game, it's like, oh no, we can't get back to Hollow Bastion the regular way. We're going to have to take this other warp, and we're going to have to go around basically the back way and get in. So I was doing this, and I've mentioned it many times. I am awful at video games. I was like going through this section, and then I died. And I was like, oh no. When I came back to life, I look up and I see, oh, the portal or the little pathway looks open right there. I was able to warp straight to Hollow Bastion after that. As long as you just get to a certain screen transition, which he's got one more screen transition to go after this, then you can just X out, and once again, for whatever reason, the game's just like, yeah, that's okay. You did good enough, kid. We'll just let you go. And it all came out of me just being bad, because who else would have just died in a gummy mission? It's not exactly something you're going to think to go test. So, yeah, shout-outs to both of my major contributions being me dying in this game.
As soon as that background starts changing, I can actually quit out. In the original PS2 version, you could not quit out of gummy missions like that.
Yeah, you couldn't. You actually had to die. You had to time getting hit by everything and then get hit by one of those flippers that we were just seeing off in the distance. We weren't really seeing off the distance, but to where that next one would kill you. So it was kind of tricky in the original because you had to get down to one hit, but not die. Because if you died, then you wasted a lot of time.
The rocks dodge you, man, I swear.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Hollow Bastion 2 is mainly just one boss fight, but we got to climb our way all the way back up to the top of the tower. So we're going to take Beast with us this time. The only reason we didn't take Beast with us the first time is that we needed to use that blue Trinity that got me a Mega Elixir and 2 cottages. I'm taking Beast this time just because he'll do a little bit more damage, and he has a couple of Ethers that can help out in Behemoth. So I'm going to go for something called God Cycle here if I'm good. Actually, no.
There's no way.
Yeah, I'm way too slow, so unfortunately I can't go for it.
He could have, if he went fast enough, just got there in order to grab the ledge.
I did a little bit too much of a glide on the first platform.
Overall, I love the Rising Falls. I love
it's pretty
platforming
good.
through that section.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and put on Oathkeeper. go here and take off draw. We're going to put on Racer. I'll explain this later. Let me do the menu. I'm very bad at this.
Beast lost his bad ability at the top.
We're going to customize this to Okay.
Donald got a couple abilities there. He took off draw, and what did you put on instead of draw?
I put on Leaf Bracer instead of draw. So Leaf Bracer is one of the reasons way back at the beginning of the run that we said we took the staff instead of the sword.
Right.
Leaf Bracer, what it does is it actually lets us
we'll
not
talk about
be
that.
interrupted while healing.
Right.
Basically, whenever we're using
So you
Cure,
basically have infinite iframes.
while curing, yeah. So second Dumbo here, this is the one that skips the Divine Rose cutscene, or at least replaced the Divine Rose cutscene. Risky dodge roll there. I was a bit slow there.
Hopefully, he might not have despawned these enemies.
Yeah, hopefully I did. I think I did.
There
Yeah,
you
we're
go.
good.
All right, nice.
Okay, so we're 2 for 2 on Dumbo skips so far. We got one more left in the same place as the first one.
Yeah.
So we're looking good so far. We've got another elevator fight coming up here, and this one is somehow worse than the first one.
Yeah.
The reason I took off Beast's top ability, which is his Ferocious Lunge, is I want him to use his bellow attack, and if we're lucky, he'll use it at the beginning and kill everything.
He will go Super Saiyan level 2, and everything will explode.
Everything on this platform will explode. We are never lucky. So I mashed triangle, used it, and nothing.
And nothing died.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what if anything we can do to kind of help that, but
It
usually
is
he'll use it a
possible.
couple times. and,
Yeah.
So that fight wasn't that bad. It's nice if he at least uses it twice, right in a row, because he can
Right.
catch a lot of them. I think he uses it a bit too early, maybe sometimes, and that's why he used it but nothing died.
Mm-hmm.
But
That could
That's
be the
okay.
case because they need a chance to actually move in
Yeah.
a little bit close. That makes sense.
you actually can swing and hit Heartless in this game as they're spawning in and do 0 damage to them if you do it too early. It'll actually make the noise for hitting them, but do 0 damage.
What's nice about the Dembo skips is that's the only Heartless that we have to kill as we climb Hollow Bastion. Now it's just the Behemoth we have to kill at the end.
Note that this specific skip actually basically breaks even or might even lose time with the old route, but that's because the old route would have already unlocked a path up to where the Dumbo skip is going to go, to where we just have to move very quickly. All right, so let's see if we can do this.
Same as the last one. Again, he's going to have to pause buffer the Dumbo summon a little bit here.
Okay, up input didn't go. This is going to be very interesting now. Very interesting. I think I hit the edge of my controller instead of the up.
Okay.
I actually have to kind of claw it during that, so. All right. We had to fail one of them. It's fine.
Yeah, he's probably a little bit rushed there. Now, he only has 1 MP, so you're probably just going to go
Goofy
without
just
it.
gave me an MP gift. So
Oh, okay. Oh, that was the other thing to know. The big thing in that last menu he did was he gave Goofy MP gift, which is probably the most broken ability in at least this game in the Kingdom Hearts series.
get a bit lined up here. There we go.
What MP gift is Goofy will give up 2 MP to give you 3. So you get him as much MP as possible to give you as much as possible.
That's how it's supposed to
There we go. All right, 3 for 4.
That's okay.
We'll take
That's
it.
about 30 seconds or so, I think, lost. Maybe not quite that much because we didn't have to menu underneath there. But it's all right. Not the end of the world.
Dumbo skips, I mean, they probably look pretty trivial. They're pretty tricky, actually. It's
Yeah.
really easy to get hit by something if you're a little too slow. The movement up to it has to be crisp. Not actually getting caught underneath the platform.
Yeah, which is what happened to me on that last one. Jump over this guy because he can really troll you if you try to roll past him. If I fall down from that higher ledge, I have to go all the way back around the tower.
A new Dumbo skip again.
Yeah, and so it's much better to be safe there. I'm going to come around here.
To note, this is the room with the Oblivion Keyblade. If we wanted it, we'd have to despawn enemies here as well. But yeah, the Oblivion is not necessary at all. I believe it's still the Keyblade of choice in KH1 original.
Nope.
It's not. I love
We use Oath Keeper now.
There are 3 behemoths we're going to fight in this game.
Right.
I was about to say, there are 3 behemoths we fight in this run. This first one actually is not affected by gravity. So instead we're going to go with regular Keyblade attacks and R's to deal all the damage.
All right, so I did 2 Ars Arcanums there to try to... Oh, nice. I skipped
Nice
lightning. Oh, that's not good. I did 2 Ars Arcanums there to try to deal as much damage as possible during his knockdown. I'm going to do this again. Your positioning has to be really good in order to do that. Oh, okay. I might be able to skip his 3rd knockdown here. Okay, this is good. Because I used that 1 gravity earlier, I'm probably not going to be able to. Let's heal for safety.
I was about to say, that probably was within kill range.
Alright, so Beast either has already used all his ethers or was not, just not using them, so that's okay. That's still a pretty good fight. It's a little bit RNG based on whether you can kill him before the 3rd knockdown there, and it's also just like you being incredibly tight with all of your positioning and attacks. If I hadn't clanked off him that one time after the first roar, I might have been able to get in enough damage to be able to take him out. So still not a bad fight whatsoever, though.
So with this right here, the Divine Rose, the Keyblade that we skipped earlier, it, for whatever reason, the cutscene building up to it, which is relatively short, it is unskippable. And we've got both of these cutscenes we're about to go into. They are unskippable as well. It's not really understood why. My personal theory is that all 3 of these cutscenes are cutscenes that, again, remember in Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, it was put in for, okay, if I have to watch the cutscene a 2nd time, then I don't have to act, then I can skip it. There's never a situation where you'd have to watch these a 2nd time. Because you can't die and go back and watch any of these 3.
Yeah.
So my theory is they literally just missed it when they were going in and coding in, all right, we need to make all these cutscenes skippable.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this one was intentional. It's kind of a farewell from the party and everything, so it might have been intentional. I don't know. Because there are other cutscenes that
that is such a nice theory.
There are other cutscenes you can't have seen twice that they they did make skippable. So
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go with they just missed it. But you can be much nicer than me. That's fine.
Got time for a real quick donation?
Absolutely, go for it.
We got a $25 donation saying for the Bonkless. Now just don't die from Boom Baby.
Hey, thank you, Boom. Boom is a awesome viewer of our streams.
Yeah. Hope you're doing well tonight, Boom. All right.
Regardless, it's nice that the 3 cutscenes, whether they missed them or intentionally missed them, it's nice that none of them are that long. So we just watched both of them. They're already done. All the unskippable cutscenes are done for the run now.
It's kind of a last bathroom break for some people. It's a nice little breather before the final dungeon, too. So
because even on beginner, you have been playing for 2 hours and 20 minutes probably at this point.
Something like that.
So nice to have a little bit of a break right before we go into the final.
So we're going to do a very short menu here, just changing out one piece of equipment. Boom.
Yep. That is the Omega Arts. The Omega Arts is basically the best piece of equipment we have access to in this game.
Yeah.
Ups 3 strength and 2 MP. Am I making that up? Is that too much?
I don't know.
Okay. Yes.
So I can no longer do lazy gummy strats. This is one of the few gummy missions I can't do it in, but it's also a very short gummy mission. It is a pretty scary one with Haste 2G and Flare G, because we're gonna have like the Star Wars Death Star army after us. So
this is the most ridiculous gummy mission screen you're coming up on right here. It's like everything else, it's pretty chill. There's some rocks you shoot. There's maybe like a row of enemies you'll kill. You're kind of swooping through. It's all pretty cool. Yeah. And then you come up on beyond this green stuff coming up here, and then the flippin' army shows up. So any of these to note on Proud Mode, one shot.
Yeah, and they do more than half health on beginner, so you can still very easily die here. I specifically move in a circle like that at that rate too. Basically, I've got some maneuvers. I list lazily to the left. For any Family Guy fans out there, and that keeps them kind of out of my way and opens up the entrance to that tunnel for me. So
I love this last dungeon. Do you?
Oh, End of the World is what the entire game could have been.
Yeah.
It's really great. There's very few cutscenes for the rest of the run, especially until the final bosses. And
we're just in a boss and
we're
mob
just
rush.
we're in a mob and boss rush. It's
boss rush.
that being said, it's also the most unbelievably frustrating world in the run
Mainly because of
there
these
are
idiots.
invisibles. Yeah, these guys can waste a lot of time.
Gravity and stop are your friends.
Stop interrupting me. All right, this is not going well now.
I lied. This world's terrible. A good technique right there that JHobz is using is to use gravity like in tandem with a single empty hit just to keep an invisible semi-still and then gravity them. So that fight was balls.
Yeah, that went really badly.
There really wasn't. I mean, Jeff was doing what he could with it.
The problem in that fight is that you want to try to trap as many as you can with gravities at the beginning, but if any of them jump away from the mass of gravities that you're putting down, then it's almost certainly going to use its DM, which we haven't explained yet. Stands for Desperation Move.
Yeah, it's not something that really has been a thing too much, other than Riku too.
Yeah, basically, it's just when the enemy goes invulnerable. And so if they use a DM, it wastes like 10 seconds. So I have to go after that enemy and try to like stop him from DMing. This is good. If Goofy didn't make him. Okay. Cool. That was a good fight.
Basically perfect fight right there. Yeah.
So if any of them jump away, I have to go after them. Otherwise, I'm guaranteed to lose at least 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I got interrupted while trying to stop the guy from DMing. So right there, I grabbed a Mega Elixir. Or no, sorry, an Elixir. A regular Elixir. I'm also going to come up here and grab a cottage.
A cottage. In order for you to
It's been
do
a
more
long
gravities.
day. All right.
It's okay. We're almost there.
So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do the shortest menu in the game.
Nice. I didn't even know what happened.
Yeah, so it turns out, like I said before, that if you leave your menus prepped in certain spots, the game will remember your cursor location. Well, the last thing we used under items was a power-up, and it turns out the cottage is in the same spot that the power-up was in. So
remember that power-up was Halloween Town when we used that, so it's been like an hour.
So since this is actually not a behemoth, but it's an arch-behemoth, which means it's a regular Heartless and can be affected by gravity, because bosses are not affected the same way by gravity.
Should be able to kill it before he gets up.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right, cool.
Okay.
We got the quick kill. I missed one hit when I was going to do the R's, which is why I was a bit close.
No arbitrary Omega Arts?
Yeah. There's a small chance for the behemoth. I think it's like a 2% chance. Or
something. No, it's like 10%.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's not. Oh, it's not 2%. We've seen it more than enough times. It's 1 in 500 for a defender drop, though.
In any case,
yeah,
there's a very small chance of that behemoth dropping another Omega Arts. Turns out it's not actually faster for us to put the Omega Arts on Sora, so I'll usually just throw it on Goofy near the end of the run.
Yeah.
If I get it, but it didn't happen, so it's fine. Another pretty short menu.
Effectively, what he did there was he's trying to just get more MP. He wants to have more of, imagine like a mage setup than a fighter setup. Again, your magic, how strong it is based on how much MP you have.
Yeah, and I actually fell into that pit. You might have noticed in all pits that I've been falling in, I've been manipulating Sora's like angle in which he's falling in the pit, because that counts towards the camera angle.
Yeah.
And so it means I know exactly how the camera's going to be set up when I come out of that pit.
Camera in this game can be very, very frustrating, so
it takes a long time to learn.
First fight here, we're going to summon Simba as fast as we can.
Pause 3 times.
Three pause. I was thinking you were going to go a fourth, just like...
just do like 9 pauses.
Just make sure that... Because once again, so there are those air soldiers, which again are some of the worst enemies in the game. If we let them dance around, if they hit Sora, you're basically dead. Otherwise, this fight is 3 waves of enemies. Yeah, you'll have to leave the area. So he's going to look for 2 ticks here, I believe.
So that resets the enemy pattern, which gives me just enough time to get a full charge and beat them. Now the remaining 2 waves take long enough to spawn in that I can use full charges to completely get rid of them. And I can dismiss Simba on this last one. I'm going to go out here.
Very nice.
So to note, the reason that we have to do these portals, any of these areas with the blue flame instead of the purple flame, it's any world in which you did not seal its keyhole will show up with a blue flame here, and you have to defeat some enemies. So that is Olympus Coliseum and Atlantica, because those are the ones we did not do.
I've always thought it was a pretty interesting mechanic, since there's so many worlds that you obviously, I mean, you're always going to do the Wonderland one, but regardless, once again, we have the mage set up, so fire spam here is wonderful. And we're also going to mix in a few gravities here, because there's so much health on the gigantic thunderfish that it's better to bring their health down with gravity a lot, and then just use 3 flames.
I also prep my menu to stop there.
Never leave that early.
Yeah.
If you go before that like flash of light, then it will not count those enemies as being dead, and you'll have to come back in and kill them again.
Yeah, and you're lower on MP, so it'll be more difficult. All right, we're coming into we're getting close to probably the worst out of all the portals, because our friends.
It is by far the worst one we have.
The one after this one, despite what my tutorial videos may claim. I made that same joke in some tutorial videos, and I don't think you even knew that.
No, I didn't know that. I don't watch your tutorials. Your videos are bad. All right.
So
Invisibles, yay!
Yeah, we have more Invisibles, a lot of them. We're going to do our best to dodge roll into this corner and spam some gravities. I'm going to spam a few right in front of me, but I'm also going to do my best to like lock onto enemies here, because if I'm locked onto enemies, I can't be hit out. Yeah, there we go. If I'm locked onto enemies, I can't be hit out of the room, but if I'm not locked onto them, I can. So
once again, using that single hit there just to kind of stagger while the gravity is going off. And that was a really good portal.
Yeah, Donald and Goofy can take care of that remaining guy, but I don't think Donald ever made it in the room. Yeah, he didn't.
Did he get caught out?
Yeah, he got caught outside. And
is there anything you need to do before Chernobog?
No,
it's not making sure.
Yeah. Now we've got Chernobog, which has probably the best music in the game.
Right.
This fight sucks.
This is actually an instance where Proud Mode is
This has a lot of RNG in it. He used the Roar first, which is really good for me. It means he's going to do this Fireball. I can heal through it. This is where Leaf Bracer comes in handy. I can stay kind of behind him here and hit him. Get behind him. Okay, and hit him while he's doing this entire Flame Breath. If I do enough damage here, I'll get him to Roar again. Okay, so he'll do that, and if I do just enough damage, he'll move his head around, and then he'll roar again. So I'm hoping I get enough damage in here. Yes, he did. So that means I skipped his second phase. So I got good RNG at the beginning, which allowed me to go for it. Okay, I'm a little low on damage here. I would like to have a bit more, but I should be good. You're always going to get knocked back there. You can try to dodge it with Ars Arcana, but it's really hard. So do 5 hits there, and then do more. Hope I don't get hit by anything, and then I skip the last Fireball. So I move myself down there because it's actually going to move my position after the fight ends. I want to ideally get down to the actual volcano, the actual crater, so that I don't need to move down at all, but his arms were in the way, so I unfortunately wasn't able to. So we make our way down here. Some people put on Super Glide because we just got it from the boss there. At this point, I think it's probably best to combine it with our next menu. So I wait. I'm not sure yet. I should probably go time it officially. I don't know if anybody has.
It's probably just preference.
It's probably more or less preference. But we've got our last Archbehemoth.
He's gonna jump at you. You just have to know that. And once again, look at that health bar.
All right, Goofy. All right, there we go. So if I do this perfectly, I can kill him while I'm still on his back. Ooh, I missed a hit there. Okay, whatever. Close enough.
Whatever.
That was still really good. Anytime you kill him before he moves down. I'm going to position myself in line with that Spire, put on Super Glide, and then use a Cottage, and then we are ready for the most intense Heartless battle in the run.
There are 7 waves of Heartless. I'm
not going to talk for the rest of this. So
there are 7 waves of Heartless here he has to deal with. The biggest thing is Simba can take care of 5 of them, and ideally he wants them to take care of the last 5. So the first thing here is, once again, we still have our mage set up. Firaga is very powerful. 2 Firagas each will blow them away. That was a very good first phase because none of them were able to disappear and become invisible and waste a bunch of time. Now he's pulling them into the corner and he is using gravity spam.
Okay, I heard one of them DM, so we're good.
Okay, so the reason why he actually is okay with one of them DMing is that he wants to leave one of them alive. Okay, so this is the last one. Now he needs to go ahead and kill them. Donald and Goofy are still alive. That's good. And he is over 2 MP. So at this point now he can bring out Simba. Okay, so he's pretty much in the clear now. I know that all went really fast.
Yeah,
that was really good.
That
was really damn good, by the way. What was important there is Donald and Goofy need to be alive because you cannot summon anybody. You cannot summon anything as long as either of your party members are dead. Either of your 2 bonus party members. And he needs to make sure he had 2 MP so he could actually summon Simba. So,
all right, we're in the clear.
Now that he's in that corner, he's able to pause buffer, bring out Simba, and kill the final 5 waves as they are spawning. I really can't. That second Invisibles phase, or the second phase of the Invisibles, that is the phase. That phase can waste like a minute.
Yeah, and that was pretty good. I normally, having a DM there is technically slower than getting DM-less, but it's so scary that you might, mess something up. That I am totally okay with one DMing there all the time, as long as I notice it.
Right. And he killed all the other Invisibles so fast that it really kind of set itself up for that.
I even used an arrow for safety there. I don't always do that, but I wanted to be extra safe.
One final Mega Elixir there.
We're going to go ahead and put on Raven's Claw. We're going to give Goofy Ray of Light for more MP. We're going to give ourselves Air Combo Plus and MP Rage.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to equip the elixirs and mega elixirs that we picked up throughout the run. We haven't used a single one of them yet. Well, we did use 1 mega elixir.
Back on Dragon Mount.
And now we're opening the final door. This is where the game is telling you, hey, look, this is the last save point. If you want to go do anything else, you better do it now. Just pause early a few more times. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Just throw it on the pile.
So we open the door, and we are magically back in Destiny Islands. Everything's kind of disappearing though.
This is the worst.
Yeah.
Worst fight.
I said Anti-Sora is the second worst fight in the game. This is the worst fight in the game. Ansem 1 is very random. This terrain here is absolutely horrendous. And he can fly. and he'll move all over the place. What I want to look for at the beginning here is hopefully he'll throw discs at me, and if I'm good, I can deflect one of them back at him. He didn't throw discs. That's not ideal, but it's okay. Nope, stagger, please. Stagger, please. Okay.
Instantly, you'll notice he's just high above the ground, so it's just harder to get to him.
Okay, so being in this corner is really bad unless I can keep him low to the ground like this. So please stay low to the ground. Okay, he will move down as he uses this move. Okay.
Pretty much as he brings up the Guardian, your R's will reach through.
So he'll kind of run away from me. He'll back up from me like that. So I'm specifically manipulating where I am or where he's going to go by moving to different locations. Good. He didn't submit Donald or Goofy there. I don't like it when he submits them. It can potentially be helpful, but I'm not a big fan of it.
A little bit out of range there.
All right, he submitted Donald. That's better than him submitting Goofy. And Donald actually used Arrow on me before he died, so that's really good. I can use Ars Arcanum, which has invincibility frames during the first part of it, to power through these orb attacks that he's using. And the fight's done. That was not that bad.
I was about I have to check in because I run Proud Mode, which makes that fight for me.
Ideally, I want to be in the complete opposite corner of that arena, but because he stayed so low to the ground the entire time, that fight actually worked out pretty well, and the fact that he submitted Donald and not Goofy was pretty key. We're going to use our last cottage there. That is the last menu of the game. Yeah. And then we're going to get the quick kill, which is so free.
Yeah. To note, it is the last opportunity also to have the last menu as well. Again, not using the finisher of ours because the recovery time off of it is really bad. He put on a very slight delay right there to make sure all of the hits of the R's landed. Nice.
Yes. All right, cool. We immediately use an elixir after the fight. You're going to see that happen quite a few times from here on out. And now we have what is often considered the hardest fight in the game. In my opinion, one of the most fun, but I'm going to focus really hard for it.
there is a number of different moves that Ansem 2 here can go into. That was a rather favorable one for him to come up and just swing.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
not good.
Yeah, so that is not what he wants to see.
And
this is not what he wanted to see either.
Oh,
that is not what he wanted to see either.
Yeah, he is not.
He's going to have to use up another elixir. It's not the worst thing in the world for him to lose another elixir there. He'd ideally like to get through the rest of the fight without using any more. That is going to slow things down just a little bit later on. So at this point, he is trying to skip the first DM. I think he has officially moved past the barrier for the first DM. Now he's got one more barrier that's going to come up here in just a little bit. He hit about a 2-frame window there.
No.
Okay. That was looking almost exactly like Zetrus's HP.
Yeah. So he's invulnerable right here.
This wastes, as you can see, a good 15%.
If I hadn't had to use that elixir, or if I was able to get submitted after I started getting the DM skip, I would have had it. But it's okay. I should be able to. Uh-oh.
Okay.
That's fine.
Good recovery off of it. That was a very rough situation to start the fight.
Yeah, normally you don't get submitted that early. You want to either potentially get submitted right at the HP gate where he'll start using that DM move, which, as you saw, he was invulnerable during. I just ran around. It just wastes time. Or you want to not get submitted at all and just go for a timing. But we don't get to relax because we're moving right on into the next boss.
Yeah. From here, it's good to have Arrow up because you are effectively tanking a ton of damage here.
Yeah, I'm going to heal through his backslash every time he does that side-to-side move. I'm also not going to use finishers here because, like I said, we're maxing out on damage at this point. So we don't actually do any additional damage with our finishers.
Right.
I'm only going to use finishers when I'm not going to hit another part of the combo. Split safe.
Nice save. Go ahead and put that arrow. It actually, he saved frames there in the arrow usage by getting hit out of the summoning out of the usage of it. So we've already pushed him into his final phase. This fight, I think, is absolute BS from a design standpoint because they just throw lasers at you the entire time, which just interrupt you the entire way. On higher difficulties, these lasers can kill you. It's pretty bad.
I would normally use an elixir there, but because I used the one during Ansem 2, I want to save that elixir.
So you've got 3 left.
I have an elixir and 3 mega elixirs.
Okay, you still got 4 in your inventory. Yes. Next up are the Shadows fight, which again, just like the beginning of the game, these guys, I mean, they're not hard, but they can waste a bunch of time.
I like to try to wait for them to jump at me there. Not that many jumped, though, unfortunately.
Still got quite a few left here. We're just about done. One more going into the 2D mode.
Okay, I picked up a Mega Potion. I always get rid of any additional items I have here because I want to just know that I'm going to be on the Elixir or Mega Elixir that I'm expecting to be on.
All right, so do you use R strat?
Yes,
here?
I do.
Yes.
So I'm going to go for this. I'm bad, so we'll see what happens.
First thing he wants to do is moving to the back of these enemies. And then using R's.
Oop, I still got pushed back a bit. Alright, so we got to play this safe now.
Yeah. Once again, you are not in free territory here. These things deal tons of damage to you.
Yeah, we're going to get knocked back again. That's okay. I did my first R's a little bit too early.
Wow,
okay.
Dude.
That was a bit risky.
So that was basically right. He used it at the perfect time to not get the knockback there. Yeah. That was crazy.
I never got fully knocked back, which is pretty good, but I did get partially knocked back at the beginning. That fight goes a bit faster if you don't ever get knocked back. Goofy's almost always going to use MP Gift on you immediately there, so I can usually count on him.
You are low.
Yeah, I'm going to heal. Goofy, use me another MP Gift, please. Oh, he's saying Sora, but he's not using it. All right, here we go. So now I can use some Ars Arcanums in here. Dark Balls are very aggressive, and they...
which sort of works into our strategy here, in all honesty.
Oh, I'm out of MP. And, all right, we're going to use this. Oh, it's Mega Ether that picked up. All right, this is a really bad Dark Balls, but that's okay.
It's very random. They just decided to throw you into a room with 20 dark balls that all do actually quite a bit of damage.
And
So I
also
healed-
on a black background, so you can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So all you
I
see is
healed
the
Goofy
BF.
there because with him alive, it means when I use a Mega Elixir, he'll end up at full health. If he's actually dead, he doesn't have the ability Second Wind on, which means he won't heal fully if he's dead and I use a Mega Elixir. I want him to have full MP because I'm going to show off the thing that is technically probably slower, but it's way more cool. R strats on the face.
For a while there, this was viewed as I mean, it's still the YOLO strat.
Yeah.
Normally, they want you to just like glide down and just attack away at him.
But look how fast this looks.
It blows my mind that this isn't still faster on the
I don't know. I'm not sure. I would like to see Zetris test it. Because I know like he's just the god at ER strat. So once I fall off, or if I've already had to use like too many Mega Elixirs and Goofy's dead, I'll usually just drop down here and finish him off like this. Remember, we have a Leaf Bracer, which lets us avoid getting hit when we're curing. So whenever the boss is about to use anything, is about to use any attack, we can just cure through it. And note, I didn't revive Goofy first that time, which is why he has half health.
Right. So you have one Mega Elixir left?
Yes.
Or, okay,
I have one Mega Elixir left.
Should be saving for Ansem 4 coming up here.
Yeah.
This fight is another terrible one. It's our final set of Invisibles in the run.
Yeah.
Basically, he's going to jump back and start spamming gravity and just pray they run into the wall into it.
Oh, it's not good.
They're not doing a very good job of it.
All right, well, a few of them ran for sure.
Okay. All right, so he's got one there that's dead
nice.
now. Okay, so only one left. Okay, so this is not. That was not bad at
Yeah,
all.
that could have
He'll take
been
that.
way worse. Why am I not super running?
I was like,
I thought it was closer for some
you were
reason.
just enjoying the journey too much.
Note, every time I'm like finishing these bosses and stuff at this point, I'm actually continuing to hit the enemy. The reason being I want to charge up as much MP as I can, and all of our health and MP like chains into the next fight ever since Ansem 3.
So you think of like these last 8 fights as effectively being one fight, with just tons of different phases.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the tumor. He's dead.
I'm gonna go ahead and heal here just to be safe.
And one final fight with Ansem
Yeah.
4. So get ready on time.
Yeah, time comes as soon as the health, as soon as his health is completely depleted. I'll call it out there. We're gonna get hit while using arrow here, right as
Saving
we
those
start,
saving
so we
those.
can save some frames. I'm also gonna mash triangle as I have been throughout like any flying segment, pretty much.
Yeah,
Donald's
it's
bit
probably a
low, so
little
I'm gonna
thing a
kill
lot of
myself.
people don't know about this game, but yeah, if you mash triangle, look up at Donald and Goofy's icons. They're kind of flashing purple. That means you're trying to like call them to help you in some way, whether it's give you items or attack the thing you're locked onto, just to make them more aggressive generally.
The wind is pushing me back now. I'm just doing my best to like get it as many few little hits as I can. Mega Elixir here because his Guardian is about to start taking our MP. And I want to give us as much MP as possible beforehand, so that way we can keep using arrow and cure as need be.
All right, final bar of health.
Cast arrow because I can't really hit him that well during this attack. And he's doing it again.
Yeah, not great RNG at the end, but it didn't matter.
And time! All right.
250.49.
Hey, I PB'd!
Yo, hey!
Cool.
I was gonna say 251. I was like, there's no way that's slower than a 251.
It felt pretty good. I knew with the Dumbo mistake I was cutting it close though, so.
Yeah,
Cool.
and the falling down in Hollow Bastion 1. Like,
Yeah,
you think about
yeah.
That's damn, dude.
Cool.
Congrats.
Thanks. So
awesome.
that was a pretty good way to end the day, I think.
That's a pretty awesome way of ending the day.
Yeah. Boom. Rocked it. All right. I know he's got like $30 to donate. I've got like $30 to donate.
Sure.
Split.
Let's match.
So,
Yeah.
Ghoul, you want to give us some closing thoughts?
That's it for today on Race to the Finish. As a reminder, we do have one more day tomorrow starting at noon Central Time.
A lot of good stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a lot of great runs, so definitely check it out. Yeah, that was an awesome run, obviously. It's great to see a new PB. See y'all tomorrow. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Bye-bye. Kingdom Hearts, yo!
私に闇の力を大いなる闇よ
違う。キングダムハーツはどんな闇も消し去ることのできる心、光なんだ。
なぜだ。なぜ光が。
扉を閉めよう。ダメか。諦めるな。何してるソラ。一緒にこいつを閉めるんだ。